Chapter 169. Brother Long, Yi Yidao's old flame has entered Flame City. Yi Yidao's old flame? Hearing this, Longao was even more surprised. However, Ice Spirit and Linghu Ning spoke in such a solemn manner. It was easy to guess the strength of Yi Yidao's old flame. Ice Spirit, what is the background of Yi Yidao's old flame? Longao didn't seem to be in a panic. He looked like he would deal with whatever came his way, which made Ice Spirit and Linghu Ning feel helpless. After thinking for a while, Ice Spirit said, Yi Yidao's old flame is called Chai Sheng. He is a second transformation martial artist and ranked 3rd on the 100 battle ranking. He doesn't belong to any sect. He relied on himself. Chai Sheng? Longao didn't bother about other things. Just this name alone didn't seem like a woman's name. As if she could see Longao's doubts, Linghu Ning said hesitantly, Brother Long, I forgot to tell you. Chai Sheng is a man and not a woman. Man? Longao was shocked beyond words. He never expected Yi Yidao's old flame to be a man. Didn't that mean Yi Yidao and Chai Sheng were having a homosexual relationship? Just thinking about it made him feel disgusted. After thinking about the so-called homosexual relationship for a while, Longao was a little surprised. Chai Sheng didn't belong to any sect. He relied on himself to reach the second transformation realm and was ranked 3rd on the 100 battle ranking. Just these points alone were enough to show how talented Chai Sheng was. Longao also became serious. After all, a second transformation martial artist's strength was extraordinary and couldn't be underestimated. No matter where he went, no matter when, Longao never underestimated any opponent. Otherwise, he was destined to lose his life once he failed. There was no chance to save himself. Ice Spirit and Linghu Ning seemed to be disgusted by the matter of Yi Yidao and Chai Sheng and didn't want to talk about it. Brother Long, Chai Sheng is powerful and hates evil. This time, he entered Flame City mainly to deal with you. Even if it's the Linghu family and the Flame Imperial family, I believe he won't put them in his eyes. Longao nodded. Of course, he knew what kind of person Chai Sheng was. Chai Sheng could rely on himself to achieve his current status. Could he retreat? Ever since Longao's debut, he had never backed down. Not in the past, not now, and definitely not in the future. Because of this, Longao said with a determined expression, since this matter will come back sooner or later, then I will wait for him here. To be honest, Longao also wanted to meet this Chai Sheng. However, his cultivation had already broken through to the next realm. Among martial artists of the same level, Longao had full confidence. But what if he met a martial artist who had undergone a second metamorphosis? Therefore, Longao wanted to see if he could defeat Chai Sheng, a martial artist at the second metamorphosis stage, with his current strength. Whether it was Linghu Ning or Ice Spirit, when they heard that Longao had no intention of leaving Flame City, worry filled their faces. They knew very well that although Longao's cultivation base had reached the Lightning Tribulation realm, there was still a certain gap between him and the Metamorphosis realm. Moreover, Chai Sheng was not in the first Metamorphosis realm, but the second Metamorphosis realm. There were 3 metamorphoses, and each realm was a qualitative change. Brother Long, I know that you are proud and don't want to leave Flame City. However, as the saying goes, revenge is a dish best served cold. With Chai Sheng's strength, there is no need for us to fight him head-on. What do you say? From beginning to end, Linghu Ning and Ice Spirit did not mention anything about the Yi family. The two of them were very clear about the grudge between Longao and the Yi family. No matter what, since it had already happened, there was no point in talking about it. The two of them had already thought it through. If the Yi family were to seek revenge, no matter what happened, they would unconditionally stand by Longao's side. Ice Spirit, Brother Linghu, I know you are worried about me. However, no matter what happens, I will not leave Flame City. Longao sighed deeply. Linghu Ning said, Brother Long, I cannot use the power of my family. However, I will stand by your side regardless of life or death. Me too. It would be a lie to say that he was not moved. With a friend like this, everything was worth it. Thank you. Longao did not say anything else as there was no need for words. Next, Ling Huning and Ice Spirit began to explain to Longao about Yi Yidao and Chai Sheng, especially Chai Sheng's strength and everything else. Somewhere in Flame City, a young man who looked like a woman was walking alone on the street. The people around him were making way for him. It was not because they were afraid of his identity, but because of the cold aura that the young man was emitting. It was too cold. The young man was none other than Chai Sheng. Not only was he Yi Yidao's old flame, but he was also ranked third on the 100 battle ranking, a martial artist who had gone through 2 metamorphoses. Chai Sheng's face was very gloomy because he had countless men. However, Yi Yidao was the only one he liked the most. But what happened in the end? He was killed by a brat named Longao. It was because of this that Chai Sheng happened to hear Longao entering Flame City when he was passing by. Chai Sheng did not even think about it and directly entered Flame City to seek revenge on this Longao. Chai Sheng was very famous. This was not because of his strength, but because he was ranked third on the 100 battle ranking. No matter what, the 100 battle ranking was very important in the secular world. The 100 battle ranking was also recognized as the most valuable ranking. Anyone who could enter the 100 battle ranking was a genius, not to mention a person who was ranked third on the 100 battle ranking, a martial artist who had gone through 2 metamorphoses. Not to mention in the secular world, even if placed in the 6 major sects, he would be a genius. Chai Sheng arrived at the Yi family. Through the Yi family's strength and background, he quickly found out Longao's whereabouts. In a luxurious restaurant. Due to the Yi family, there were only 3 people in the entire restaurant. It was very quiet. Longao and the other 2 were not fools. Of course, they knew that things had started to go wrong. Ice Spirit said in a dignified voice, "If there is no accident, Chai Sheng should be here." "Ha ha ha, Ice Spirit, long time no see. You are still so valiant and heroic." Chai Sheng walked in with a cold smile. When he saw Ling Huning, he seemed a little surprised. Finally, he smiled and said, "Brother Linghu, you are still so beautiful." "Shut up." Without giving Chai Sheng any chance to speak, Ling Huning had goosebumps all over his body. He was so disgusted that he wanted to vomit. "You are so disgusting. People like you should buy 2 pounds of tofu and slowly kill yourself at home. You are Longao? So what? Longao, not bad. Do you know who I am? Who you are has nothing to do with me. You better leave. Looking at someone like you, I don't even have the desire to eat." Chapter 170. As soon as Chai Sheng stepped into the restaurant, Longao began to provoke him. Longao knew very well that even if he didn't provoke him, today's matter would be very difficult to deal with. Since that was the case, there was no need to speak any more nonsense. Longao was too lazy to do the work of making things clear. Chai Sheng didn't care about Ice Soul and Ling Huning. His face was as ugly as it could be. He said coldly, "Looks like you're really arrogant. Chai Sheng, cut the crap. If you want to fight, then fight. If you want to fight, then fight." Chai Sheng laughed sinisterly. It was as if he had heard the funniest thing in the world. He had already sensed his opponent's strength. The lightning tribulation realm might be strong in the eyes of others, but in front of him, it was just a joke. Not to mention Chai Sheng, even Ling Huning and Ice Soul didn't think highly of Longao. After all, the lightning tribulation realm and the transformation realm were 2 extremes. It would be strange if a lightning tribulation realm cultivator could kill a transformation realm cultivator. "Longao, are you really that confident? I don't know about others, but I have full confidence in you." Longao's attitude had already shown that he didn't put Chai Sheng in his eyes. He was looking down on Chai Sheng. Chai Sheng was no fool. He understood what he meant, but he wasn't angry at all. He pointed at Ice Soul and then at Ling Huning. "Which side are you on?" "We choose Longao." Whether it was Ling Huning or Ice Soul, they didn't even think about it and chose to side with Longao. Chai Sheng smiled and didn't mind. He asked, "Longao, do you want to fight here or outside?" Brother Longao waved his hand. He didn't give them any chance to speak. He said firmly, "I have to deal with this matter myself. You don't have to interfere." Ling Hu Ning and Ice Soul looked at each other and nodded helplessly. There's no need to trouble yourself. I'll fight you to the death right here. Longao exuded powerful confidence. Chai Sheng found it hard to imagine just what gave him such courage and confidence. Brother Ling Hu, Ice Spirit, leave this place first. Brother Long, if you're my friend, then listen to me. Ling Hu Ning and Ice Soul had no other choice but to leave. In the entire luxurious restaurant, there were only two people left. One was Longao, and the other was Chai Sheng. Both of them were transformation realm martial artists. Once a battle began, it was obvious just how great the impact would be. Longao, I will kill you within 3 moves. You! Mitch, with a cold snort, Chai Sheng had already rushed out. Before he arrived, his powerful aura had already covered the sky and suppressed the earth. He didn't dare to be the slightest bit careless. No matter what, Chai Sheng was still a martial artist who had undergone 2 transformations. His strength couldn't be underestimated. In order to end this battle quickly, Longao directly used the soul-suppressing seal, dark burning seal, and the 8 styles of drinking blood. Transformation realm, Chai Sheng exclaimed. Sensing the powerful aura emitted by his opponent, Chai Sheng never imagined that his opponent was actually a transformation realm martial artist. Although it was only a first transformation realm martial artist, it was still a transformation realm martial artist. Shocked, Longao certainly wouldn't let go of this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He took out the God-sealing pearl and directly activated it. Half-defective item. Although the God-sealing pearl was only a half-defective item, Longao was very clear in his heart that with the current power of the God-sealing pearl, it was enough to lock down Chai Sheng. The God-sealing pearl released a strange power. Before Chai Sheng could react, he was shocked to find that the surrounding space was rapidly solidifying. He didn't even dare to think about it. Chai Sheng found that his body was actually frozen. That's right, he was frozen. What the hell happened? Chai Sheng's face became extremely ugly. Because until now, he still couldn't figure out why his body was frozen. Outside the restaurant, Ling Hu Ning and Ice Spirit's faces were solemn. Ice Spirit said worriedly, Big Brother Ling Hu, do you think Brother Long can defeat Chai Sheng? Although he was very willing to believe that Longao could defeat Chai Sheng, Ling Hu Ning said helplessly, you and I both know Chai Sheng's strength. I have to admit that Brother Long is indeed a genius. To be able to reach the Lightning Tribulation Realm in just a few months, but the Lightning Tribulation Realm is still the Lightning Tribulation Realm. It's impossible for him to defeat Chai Sheng. As a friend, I must save Brother Long. Ling Hu Ning stopped Ice Spirit and said solemnly, with our current strength, even if we go in, we'll just be throwing our lives away. Even if we die, as a friend, we must go through fire and water. At this moment, the entire luxurious restaurant collapsed. Then, Longao and Chai Sheng's figures appeared. They thought that Chai Sheng would win and Longao would lose without a doubt, but the result was that Longao kicked Chai Sheng's temple, directly killing him. Kicking Chai Sheng to death with one kick. Looking at the corpse that fell to the ground, both Ling Hu Ning and Ice Spirit were completely dumbfounded. Chai Sheng was a genuine double metamorphosis martial artist and a super figure ranked 3rd on the 100 battle ranking. According to their guess, Longao could not be a match for a double metamorphosis martial artist. Brother Long, you killed Chai Sheng? Longao smiled and said innocently, maybe Chai Sheng was careless. I just killed him by luck. Was it really luck? Ling Hu Ning and Ice Spirit's faces were very ugly. It was really infuriating to compare oneself to others, especially Ling Hu Ning. They were both Lightning Tribulation martial artists. How could Longao kill Chai Sheng? What about him? Without a doubt, Ling Hu Ning was very clear about his own strength. If he encountered Chai Sheng, he would definitely be killed. As if he had guessed something, Ling Hu Ning asked, Brother Long, forgive me for asking, but has your cultivation broken through the metamorphosis realm? Hearing Ling Hu Ning's question, Ice Spirit was also surprised. Did Brother Long really break through and become a metamorphosis martial artist? I just broke through by luck. Luck again. Seeing Longao nod his head, both Ling Hu Ning and Ice Spirit were extremely shocked. Both of them knew very well how big the difference was between the Metamorphosis realm and the Lightning Tribulation realm. It was no wonder Longao could kill Chai Sheng. Metamorphosis realm. Taking a deep look at the other party, Ice Spirit still could not react. Because she never thought that Longao would break through the Lightning Tribulation realm from the Consolidation realm to the Metamorphosis realm in just a few months. If Longao did not admit it personally, she would not believe it even if she was beaten to death. Geniuses, Yi Yidao, Chai Sheng, and even Linghu Ning, compared to Longao, was simply laughable. Because Longao's talent was there. Not to mention the secular world, even in the 6 major sects, he was a first-class existence. Chapter 171. Brother Linghu, Ice Spirit. These 2 spiritual balls contain Longsha's power. If nothing goes wrong, it should be able to help you reach the transformation realm. Looking at the 2 spiritual balls in Longao's hand, Linghu Ning and Ice Spirit were surprised. The 2 of them did not hold back and each of them reached out to pick up a spiritual ball. Both of you, Longsha has a lot of power. I have prepared a total of 4 spiritual balls, so I'm going to give the remaining 2 to others. Brother Long, you're too annoying. These 2 spiritual balls are enough for us. The remaining 2 spiritual balls are at your disposal. Brother Long, how do you use the spiritual balls? Then, Longao taught them how to use the spiritual balls. Longao was very confident about the spiritual balls. According to Long Fu, if there was no way to open the spiritual balls, then no matter how strong one was, they would not be able to open the spiritual balls. Because of this, Longao had just sent out the spiritual balls. Their destination was the Long family of Red Fire Town. Longao had thought about it. The family itself was very weak. Even with the Fire Chelene would eventually leave. Once the Fire Chelene left, what would happen to the family? Therefore, Longao thought of this method. In the future, he would continuously send the spiritual balls back to the family for everyone to use for cultivation. Brother Long, let's leave here quickly. Nodding, Longao was also very clear about what it meant to kill Chai Sheng. Then, the 3 of them left the ruins and flew into the distance. The news of Longao and Chai Sheng's battle spread throughout the entire Flame City in an instant. According to the strength of Longao and Chai Sheng, no one believed that Longao could defeat Chai Sheng. But what was the final result? In just a few seconds, Longao kicked Chai Sheng to death. However, everyone who received the news turned pale with fright. None of them were willing to believe it. But the truth was the truth. Even if they were unwilling to admit it, they had to admit it. Chai Sheng was very famous in Tianju. Even the 6 major sects were scrambling to recruit Chai Sheng, but they were all rejected by Chai Sheng. Chai Sheng was ranked 3rd on the 100 battle ranking list and a martial artist who had undergone the 2nd metamorphosis. His achievements could be imagined. It was precisely because of this that everyone found it hard to believe. Why was Longao able to kick Chai Sheng to death with a single kick? Could it be that Longao had already reached the transformation realm? Longao was a transformed martial artist. The news that Longao was a metamorphosis martial artist had already spread to all the major families, including the Blazing Flame Royal family. Those who received the news were all shocked. How many people in the secular world could be a match for such a genius? In the Dragon Seal space. Long Fu, help me refine Chai Sheng's soul into a soul slave. Although it required a lot of strength, Longao was very clear that a soul slave that had undergone a 2nd metamorphosis was very powerful. Once it was refined, it would definitely be able to help him defend against external enemies. Long Fu did not say much. He nodded and said, "Master, the soul power that I refined before was not refined into strength. Instead, it was refined into soul power. I will transfer it into your soul later." Longao was immediately overjoyed. He was looking forward to the soul attack that Long Fu had mentioned. Once his soul was strong enough, wouldn't he be able to catch the enemy off guard and catch them off guard? In a luxurious restaurant. Brother Long, with your talent, if there are no accidents, the 6 sects will soon extend an olive branch to you. Have you thought about which sect you will choose? The Tianwu continent was divided into 9 provinces. The Tianwu continent was divided into 6 sects, which were above the secular world. Under normal circumstances, the 6 sects would choose suitable people in the secular world to enter their respective sects at any time. However, the higher the talent and potential, the faster the climb. But there was another situation, that was, the super-talented experts would be directly recruited by the 6 great sects. Once they entered the 6 great sects, they would be heavily cultivated. The most important target of the 6 great sects was the 100 battle ranking list, especially the top 10 figures. Brother Linghu, to be honest, I don't want to join any sect. Perhaps it was because he was hurt by the Nebula Imperial family. Longao no longer wanted to join any sect or the National Guard Hall. Ice Spirit nodded, but her face was very serious. She said, Brother Long, you just killed Chai Sheng. I believe that it won't be long before you are ranked 3rd on the 100 battle ranking. According to your current status and strength, you can not only compete for the 100 battle ranking, but also the Fengyun list. Fengyun list. Longao was familiar with the Fengyun list. It could be said that the Fengyun list was above the 100 battle ranking. As long as one was in the Tianwu continent and was under 30 years old, one could compete for it. It could be said that the Fengyun list was far more valuable than the 100 battle ranking. Longao did not know where he was on the Fengyun list, but he was sure that he was on the list. In fact, it was not hard to guess that anyone who entered the top 10 of the 100 battle ranking would automatically enter the Fengyun list. That was to say, he was on both lists at the same time. Seeing that Longao did not speak, Ice Spirit asked curiously, Brother Long, what's wrong with you? Ice Spirit, Brother Linghu, I want to ask about the Golden Sun sect. Golden Sun sect. Although Linghu Ning did not know why Longao mentioned the Golden Sun sect, she still said, Golden Sun sect is one of the 6 sects. Nominally, Golden Sun sect ranks 4th among the 6 sects. But after so many years of development, there are rumors that Golden Sun sect's strength and foundation have surpassed the Ghost King sect. It can even be compared with the Flame sect and the Sound of Thunder sect. Golden Sun sect. Longao never thought that Golden Sun sect would be so powerful. Brother Long, you don't know. In Golden Sun sect, young Master Zhong Zhihang is known as a super genius. He ranks 3rd on the Fengyun list at a young age and is an earthly royal realm warrior. Zhong Zhihang? Brother Linghu, Ice Spirit, wait here for a moment. Ignoring their surprised eyes, Longao turned and left quickly, disappearing without a trace in an instant. With Longao's current strength, his speed was as fast as a gust of wind. Outside Flame City, on a huge rock, a young man in fiery red clothes stood arrogantly. When he saw Longao rushing over, the young man went straight to the point. My name is Hu Teng, young master of the Flame sect. I'm looking for you this time to invite you to join the Flame sect. What do you think? So fast. Longao was surprised by the other party's identity. Hu Teng, young master of the Flame sect. Although he had expected that the Flame sect and even the 6 sects would recruit him, this speed was a little too fast. I'm sorry. I'm used to being free, so I won't join any sect or force. Rejected. Hearing the other party's rejection, Hu Teng's face instantly turned ugly. After all, as the young master of the Flame sect, when had he ever been rejected like this? Next up is a big storyline, so 3 chapters a day, starting from the first. Chapter 172. Do you know the consequences of rejecting the Flame sect? Hu Teng, Longao had never heard of this name. No matter what, Longao did not know much about the Wind Cloud ranking. However, he knew one thing. The aura that the young sect leader of Flame sect in front of him was obviously that of an earthly royal realm martial artist. In other words, Hu Teng was a genuine earthly royal realm martial artist. Was Hu Teng also on the ranking list? Hu Teng, since Longao is unwilling to join the Blazing Flame sect, you don't have to force him. As he spoke, a young man walked over with a cold smile on his face. He was the young master of the Thunder Empire, Xia Jun. The 6 major sects were the Ghost King sect, the Blood Sea sect, the Wind Thunder sect, the Golden Sun sect, the Flame sect, and the Thunder sect. As everyone knew, the Thunder sect and the Flame sect were the most powerful among the 6 major sects. That was why they dominated the secular world of the Tianju and established the Flame Empire and the Thunder Empire. The Flame sect and the Thunder sect fought openly and secretly to destroy each other. But after so many years, the 2 sects couldn't do anything to each other. Seeing the sudden appearance of the Xia army, Hu Teng's face turned extremely gloomy and ugly. Xia Jun, this is the territory of the Flame sect, not your Thunder sect. Do you not want to leave here alive? I'm so scared. I almost forgot that you, Hu Teng, are a famous figure. Not only are you an earthly royal realm martial artist, but you're also ranked 5th on the 100 battle ranking. 5th on the ranking list, an earthly royal realm martial artist. Longao was not a fool. Of course, he knew that Xia Jun was talking to him. Because of this, Longao was surprised. Including Zhong Zhihang, he had met 3 earthly royal realm martial artists. Zhong Zhihang of the Golden Sun sect, ranked 3rd on the 100 battle ranking, Xia Jun of the Thunder sect, ranked 4th, and Hu Teng of the Flame sect, ranked 5th. Longao knew that Zhong Zhihang, Hu Teng, and Xia Jun were all geniuses. After all, they were ranked 5th on the 100 battle ranking list. Hu Teng, you and I have known each other for so many years. Longao won't join your Flame sect. Could it be that I will join your Sound of Thunder sect? Xia Jun smiled and turned to Longao, asking, Longao, I'm sending you an invitation now. Are you willing to join my Sound of Thunder sect? Sound of Thunder sect. Longao knew that the Sound of Thunder sect was the backing of the Thunder Empire. If he were to join the Sound of Thunder sect, there would definitely be trouble in the future. Knowing that there would be trouble in the future, why should he join the Sound of Thunder sect now? After thinking about it, Longao smiled helplessly and said, I just said that I like freedom, so I won't join any sect. As if he had already guessed it, Xia Jun was not angry at all. He said, okay, I respect your choice. Hu Teng, you have heard that Longao is not willing to join any sect. You can leave now. After taking a deep look, Hu Teng suddenly sneered and said, Longao, the green mountains do not change and the green rivers flow forever. We will meet again in the future. Looking at the gradually disappearing figure, Xia Jun snorted coldly and said, Longao, ignore him. It was easy to say. No matter what, Hu Teng was an earthly sovereign realm martial artist. He had the entire Flame sect as his backing. It was almost impossible to ignore Hu Teng. Longao, are you really not considering joining the Sound of Thunder sect? Before Longao could speak, Xia Jun continued, Longao, forgive me for being blunt. Your talent and potential are indeed the strongest among all the people I have seen. However, an individual's strength is always limited. Do you understand what I mean? Longao had indeed not thought about this problem. Longao, I believe that as your troubles increase, you should be able to clearly feel that no matter how strong you are, as long as you meet a strong enemy, not to mention yourself, even the clan behind you will not be able to guarantee your safety. Longao nodded. Regarding this point, Longao did not hide it at all. Longao, even if you don't want to join the Sound of Thunder sect, I would still like to give you a piece of advice. While increasing your strength, think about your clan. By the way, I already know about the enmity between you and the Sound of Thunder Imperial family. Before coming, I have already informed the Sound of Thunder Imperial family. Hence, from now on, the Sound of Thunder Imperial family will no longer interfere with the enmity between you and the Star Cloud Imperial family. Thank you. Although he did not know what Xia Jun meant, Xia Jun had indeed solved a big problem for him by doing so. You are welcome. I have something to do and will leave first. If you have any problems, you can come to the Sound of Thunder sect to look for me or pass me a message. Remember, Hu Teng is a very sinister person. Looking at Xia Jun who had already left, Longao's face turned ugly. It was not because he was afraid of Hu Teng, but because what Xia Jun said was true. No matter how strong he was, he would eventually meet a stronger enemy. If this continued, his clan would never be safe. Clan. Longao clenched his fists tightly because he knew that from now on, not only did he have to increase his own strength, he also had to increase his clan's strength. It was still the same sentence. He could not stay in the clan forever. Only when the clan's strength was strong could he guarantee that nothing would happen. Spiritual Ball. Longao's soul entered the dragon seal space and said straightforwardly, Long Fu, from now on, you have to split half or 1/3 of the souls that I have captured and store them in the spiritual ball for me. Master, why is that? Long Fu seemed to be very curious. He did not know what was wrong with his master. Why did he have to split half or 1/3 of the souls? After all, this was not a small number. Long Fu, I am not alone. I have a clan behind me. If something happens to my clan, I will blame myself for the rest of my life. Hence, I have already thought about it. No matter what happens, I have to increase the strength of my clan first. Long Fu did not seem to understand the meaning of a clan. In his opinion, as long as his master was strong enough, everything else was nonsense. However, since his master had already said so, he could not refuse. Nodding his head, Long Fu said, Master, please be at ease. I will store the energy that I have refined in the spiritual ball. However, Master, if you want to better protect your clan, you must first become stronger. Otherwise, everything will be just fleeting clouds. Nodding his head, Longao had already thought about this problem. It could be said that no matter if it was him or his clan, they must increase their strength as soon as possible. This was because he deeply understood that in order to survive in this man-eat-man world, one must have a strong fist. Otherwise, they would be persecuted everywhere. Not only the clan, but also himself. Chapter 173. Inside the luxurious restaurant. Looking at Longao who had returned, Ice Spirit asked curiously, Brother Long, what happened? Longao did not hide anything as he treated the two of them as true friends. Just now, the young master of the Flame Sect, Hua Teng, and the young master of the Thunder Sect, Xia Jun, came to look for me. Hua Teng, Xia Jun, Flame Sect, Thunder Sect. Hearing Longao's words, both Ling Hu Ning and Ice Spirit's faces changed. However, after thinking about it, they understood. After all, with Longao's talent and potential, the 6 major sects would definitely want to recruit him. Nodding, Ling Hu Ning said, Brother Long, putting aside the fact that you've just killed Chai Sheng, just your previous achievements alone are enough to tempt the 6 great sects. However, I still didn't expect that the 2 young sect masters of the Thunderclap sect and the Blazing sect would come personally. Brother Long, you agreed? Yes, Brother Long, did you agree to join the Flame sect or the Thunder sect? From Ling Hu Ning and Ice Spirit's point of view, since the 2 young master of the Flame sect and the Thunder sect came personally to invite him, they believed that Longao would definitely agree. The question now was whether Longao would join the Flame sect or the Thunder sect. The Flame sect and the Thunder sect were 2 of the 6 major sects in the Tianju. Their strength and foundation were above the other 4 major sects. I did not agree. Brother Long, you mean you did not agree to join the Flame sect or the Thunder sect? They seemed to be in disbelief. What kind of joke was this? The 2 young master of the Flame sect and the Thunder sect personally invited him. This was an honor. If Longao joined one of the 2 major sects, he would definitely receive a lot of training. During this time, I understood something. No matter where you join, it's all nonsense. Only by improving your own strength and your family's strength is the way to go. Therefore, I did not agree to any of the sects. Hearing Longao's words, Ling Hu Ning and Ice Spirit seemed to be touched. They lowered their heads and started to ponder. Brother Long, do you know who the 2 young master of the Flame sect and the Thunder sect are? With a look of doubt, Longao did not say anything and sat quietly. Brother Long, have you heard of the billboard? I have. The Fengyun ranking is above the 100 battle ranking. When it came to the Fengyun list, both Ling Hu Ning and Ice Spirit had yearning written all over their faces. After all, the Fengyun list was sought after by the entire Tianju, while the 100 battle ranking was sought after by the secular world. Coupled with the age restriction, it was clear that the Fengyun list was much more valuable than the 100 battle ranking. The Wind Cloud list. There are a total of 9 wind cloud lists in the 9 prefectures of the Tianwu continent. It is different from the 100 battle ranking. Anyone can enter the wind cloud list, but the age limit is 30. Longao already knew about this. You can put it this way. If you can enter the top 30 of the 100 battle ranking, you can enter the Fengyun list. Brother Long, according to your current ranking and strength, you should be able to enter the top 30, or even the top 20, if nothing unexpected happens. Linghu Ning and Ice Spirit knew what it meant to be in the top 20 or 30 of the ranking list. Brother Long, if you can get first place on the 100 battle ranking list, then I can guarantee that you will be able to reach the top 10 on the Fengyun list. First place on the 100 battle ranking list. Longao certainly knew what it meant to be first and second place on the 100 battle ranking list. If nothing unexpected happened, he believed that the strength of the first and second place on the 100 battle ranking list was above the second metamorphosis realm. Brother Linghu, I want to ask about the situation of the first and second place on the 100 battle ranking list. Under normal circumstances, Longao did not pay attention to the 100 battle ranking list, let alone the Fengyun list. As for his ranking, he did not care much. But since he was already in this position, he might as well continue to try. Maybe one day he would be ranked second, or even first. Brother Long, don't you pay attention to the 100 battle ranking list? Shaking his head, Longao said, I don't pay much attention to it. Linghu Ning and Ice Spirit looked depressed. Comparisons were odious. Longao had such a character. In just a few months, he jumped directly to the third place of the 100 battle ranking from a person who couldn't even make it to the 100 battle ranking list. Who in the secular world could compete with such talent? Brother Long, as far as I know, the second place on the 100 battle ranking list is called Little Whirlwind. He is a warrior in the third metamorphosis realm. A year ago, he defeated Chai Sheng in 3 moves and became famous in Tianzhu. Therefore, the gap between Chai Sheng and Little Whirlwind is very big. Little Whirlwind was ranked second on the 100 battle ranking list. His strength was far above Chai Sheng. As for He Mo, who dominates the first place on the 100 battle ranking list, it is said that he is 40 this year and will withdraw from the 100 battle ranking list next year. At that time, Brother Long, you will automatically be promoted to the second place. Longao smiled and said, the second place is not very pleasant to hear. Linghu Ning and Ice Spirit both laughed. It is said that He Mo's cultivation has reached the human king realm. Therefore, He Mo's strength is far above Little Whirlwind. Longao also knew that the gap between the first 3 places on the 100 battle ranking list represented a huge gap in strength. For example, He Mo ranked first on the 100 battle ranking list and Little Whirlwind ranked second on the 100 battle ranking list. One was a human king warrior while the other was a warrior in the metamorphosis realm. There was no comparison between the two. The gap between the metamorphosis realm and the human king realm could be imagined. Linghu Ning, Metamorphosis Realm 5. Are there different levels for human king, earthly sovereign, and Tao ancestor? Hearing Longao's words, Linghu Ning and Ice Spirit stared at the black-clothed, white-haired young man in front of them as if they had seen a ghost. Ice Spirit asked in surprise, Brother Long, are you doing this on purpose? What on purpose? Longao was also shocked. He did not know what they were talking about. Brother Long, do you really not know? I don't know. I know that there are 5 stages in the metamorphosis realm. There are 3 stages in the metamorphosis realm: Human King Realm, Earthly Sovereign Realm, and Tao Ancestor Realm. Looking at Longao's innocent face, Linghu Ning sighed deeply as if he had been hit by a blow. A person who did not even know his level actually cultivated so fast. Oh my God. Brother Long, as you said, there are 5 stages in the metamorphosis realm. After breaking through the Human King Realm, each stage is divided into 4 small stages. They are the primary stage, the intermediate stage, the advanced stage, and the peak stage. Ice Spirit, who had been silent all this time, suddenly said, Brother Long, the 2 young master who just looked for you, Xie Jun is an advanced earthly sovereign. As for Hua Teng, he is an intermediate earthly sovereign. They are ranked 3rd and 4th on the Fengyun list respectively. Primary stage, intermediate stage, advanced stage, and peak stage. In other words, after breaking through the Human King Realm, cultivation was divided into 4 small stages. Chapter 174. Brother Long, your rise will not only attract the attention of the 6 great sects, but also Little Whirlwind. Why? Longao was surprised. Under normal circumstances, shouldn't he be the one to challenge Little Whirlwind? Brother Long, you don't know this, but Little Whirlwind is famous for being a battle maniac. He knows that Hei Mo is much stronger than him, but Little Whirlwind still refuses to give up. For 3 years, he fought once a month without stopping. After hearing Ling Hu Ning's words, Longao was curious about Little Whirlwind. Battle maniac. Longao knew very well how big the gap between the human king realm and the transformation realm was. Alright, let's not talk about this anymore. Brother Long, although you have rejected the invitation of the Fire Sect and the Sound of Thunder Sect, this matter is not so simple. Ice Soul's face was full of worry. She continued, this time, the 2 young master of the Fire Sect and the Sound of Thunder Sect personally invited you, but they were rejected on the spot. I believe that they will not let this go. So, Brother Long, from now on, you must be extra careful. Longao knew that Ice Soul was worried about him. He nodded and smiled, I will. Come, let's drink. Tonight, we won't go home until we are drunk. Ever since he started out, Longao knew that he did not have many friends, but he did not regret it. This was because when it came to friends, quality was not quantity. It could be said that friends could help you when you were in danger, but what about bad friends? Because of this, Longao had always been careful when making friends. Fire City. In a luxurious restaurant. The moon was high in the sky, and the wine was singing. The 3 of them drank 1 cup after another, forgetting all their grudges and troubles. They drank like this for an entire night. Ghost King Sect. Tianju had a total of 6 great sects. Ghost King Sect was one of them. Its strength was considered average. Back then, Ghost King Ao Tian was heavily injured and was accidentally saved by the Golden Sun Sect's master. For some reason, Ghost King Ao Tian agreed to Zhong Zhihang and Aoshue's marriage. According to the agreement that year, Aoshue and Zhong Zhihang would be married 27 days later. However, Aoshue had a condition, and that was that the wedding must be held in the Ghost King Sect. In order to get Aoshue, Zhong Zhihang did not refuse at all. Under normal circumstances, this wedding should be held in the Golden Sun Sect, not in the Ghost King Sect. Ghost King Peak, at the back of the mountain, there was an extremely secluded but extremely beautiful lake. Sitting quietly by the lake, Aoshue looked exceptionally beautiful at this moment. She reached out her right hand and gently stirred the lake water. Longao, I'm sorry. For the sect, for my father, I had to do this. The strength of the Golden Sun Sect was far above that of the Ghost King Sect. What was more, the Golden Sun Sect had a marriage contract in hand. If the Ghost King Sect broke the contract, it would lose face. He was afraid that the Golden Sun Sect would not let it go. Aoshue, you will be married in 27 days. I really don't want to part with you. Without even turning her head, Aoshue's face was full of bitterness and sadness. As the daughter of the master of the Ghost King Sect, although she was superior, she could not even choose the person she loved. Was such an identity really worth it? But fate was like this, and no one could change it. Putting away the bitterness and sadness on her face, Aoshue turned around and said with a smile, Father, did you invite the other 4 sects to this wedding? Ao Tian nodded. He was also a little unhappy, but things had come to this point, and he could only make the best of it. For the sect, it was worth sacrificing his daughter's happiness. I have invited the Blood Sea Sect, the Golden Sun Sect, the Golden Sun Sect, the Flame Sect, and the Sound of Thunder Sect, and even the Thunder Empire and the Flame Empire. If there is no accident, the master of the 4 sects will all come. In the eyes of others, it was the most luxurious and proud wedding in the world to be able to invite the master of the 4 sects and the emperors of the 2 empires, but Aoshue's heart was full of sadness. If she could not marry the person she loved, no matter how good the wedding was, what was the point? Aoshue, what else do you want? As long as I can do it, I will help you to do it. Seeing his daughter like this, Ao Tian could not bear to do it, but thinking of the sect, he could only do so. As the master of the Ghost King Sect, he had to first consider the interests of the sect. Shaking her head, Aoshue said, Father, I don't want anything, but I want to ask you for one thing. I have never asked you for anything in my life. Sighing deeply in his heart again, Ao Tien said, say it. Father, no matter what happens in the future, no matter when, the sect must protect Longao and not let anyone hurt him, okay? He felt that something was going to happen, but Ao Tien could not figure out what was wrong. Nodding, Ao Tien did not hesitate and agreed, Ao Shue, I promise you, no matter when, no matter what happens, I will protect Longao's life. Father, on the day of the wedding, you must guard the entrance and not let him come. Ao Tien naturally knew who Ao Shue was referring to. He didn't continue to say anything. He turned around and left. In a short while, he had already disappeared without a trace. Looking at the disappearing figure, Ao Shue suddenly said to herself, Father, I will return everything I owe you on the day of the wedding, but I must not marry Zhong Zhihang. I was born as a member of the Long family, and I will die as a ghost of the Long family. Ao Shue sat back down by the small lake and quietly looked at the small lake in front of her, her face full of determination. Longao, after I die, I hope you will not be sad. I will protect you in the underworld, take care. The reason why Ao Tien agreed to the Golden Sun sect, other than the marriage, was because in Ao Tien's eyes, Longao and the Golden Sun sect could not be compared at all. If Longao was not a disciple of the Scarlet Fire Town's Long family, but a third or even second-level disciple, perhaps today's result would be different. This was the result of strength. In addition to personal strength, the strength of one's family and backer was equally important. At least in the eyes of ordinary people, no matter how strong one's talent was, they could not compete with a force. For this point, Ao Shue was very clear in her heart. It was precisely because of this that Ao Shue chose to compromise and choose an extreme approach. She chose to commit suicide on the day of the wedding. First, she and Zhong Zhihang were considered to be married. Second, as long as she died, then there was no need to enter the bridal chamber. Even if she went to the netherworld, she was still Longao's woman. As for Ao Shue's thoughts, Longao did not know, and neither did Ao Tien. Ghost King sect, the scenery of the Ghost King Peak was still as spectacular, but on the peak, there was a woman waiting alone. Chapter 175. Flame City. After drinking for an entire night, the three of them, as powerful martial artists, almost did not feel drunk. However, the three of them did not deliberately force themselves to drink. Just like that, the three of them were completely drunk. Ever since he was born, Longao had never been drunk. This was the first and only time. Ever since he obtained the dragon seal, Longao's fate had undergone an earth-shattering change. Otherwise, he would still be in Scarlet Fire Town's Long family, being a trash. Even so, in just a few months, Longao had tasted the taste of death. In the eyes of outsiders, his cultivation speed was very fast, but no one knew that his strength was exchanged for through life and death experiences. The next day, early morning. After sending off Ling Huning and Ice Soul, Longao prepared to pack up and leave Flame City to return to Scarlet Fire Town. Longao had already thought about it. Before going to Ghost King sect, he had to return to his family and explain everything clearly. Even if he unfortunately fell, at least his family would not fall with him. Golden Sun sect, one of the 6 major sects, had strength and foundation. Even if Longao was confident in his own strength, he also knew that with his current strength, it was impossible for him to compete with Golden Sun sect or Thunder Royal family. Moreover, Longao had already decided to set off for Ghost King sect in 20 days. No matter what happened, even if he died, he had to stop Ao Shue and Zhong Zhihang from getting married. It was because of this that Longao had to consider the problem of his family. As the saying goes, the tea has already cooled. If he died, not to mention the other forces, just the Nebula royal family would not let his family go. Brother Long, are you really leaving? Nodding, Longao said, I have something important to do. I will definitely come back. Hearing this, Ling Huning and Ice Soul were shocked. Ice Soul could not wait to ask, Brother Long, what happened? Waving his hand, Longao did not tell the two of them about his matter. After all, his trip to Ghost King sect this time could be said to be a narrow escape. Whether he could return alive was unknown. He didn't want to implicate his friend, and he couldn't harm his friend. Seeing that Longao was unwilling to say more, the two of them became even more worried. Without giving them a chance to speak, Longao said, "Brother Linghu, Ice Spirit, I will take care of my own business. If something happens to me, I hope you can help me take care of the Long family." After saying that, Longao turned around and left quickly, disappearing without a trace in the blink of an eye. Looking at the disappearing figure, Ice Spirit asked with a serious expression, "What happened to Brother Long?" "Ice Spirit, you know Brother Long's character. He won't change his mind once he has decided on something. The only thing we need to do now is to help Scarlet Fire Town as much as possible." Despite her worries, Ice Spirit nodded in the end. She didn't know what else she could do apart from this. Somewhere in the Flame Forest. After successfully seizing the bodies of the two, the 9 Netherworld Earth Spider and Long Yili seemed to have changed into another person. The 9 Netherworld Earth Spider was a burly man with a face full of beard. He looked extremely overbearing. As for Long Yili, he had a sickly appearance. "Yili. Master, what's the matter? I am now in human form. Give me a human name." "A human name?" Long Yili was disgusted, but he didn't dare to say anything because of the 9 Netherworld Earth Spider's tyrannical power. He lowered his head and began to ponder. After pondering for a while, Long Yili suddenly said, "Master, your strength is so powerful. It's like the metal element of the 5 elements. It's invincible. Why don't you call yourself Li Xin?" "Li Xin? Ha ha ha, good. You're not bad. I like this name. Let's go and find Longao. That bastard, I was almost killed by him. If I don't take revenge, I won't be a spider." Hearing that the 9 Netherworld Earth Spider was going to find Longao for revenge, Long Yili was overjoyed. In Long Yili's opinion, the reason he became like this was all thanks to Longao. So no matter what happened, Longao would definitely die. As for the 9 Netherworld Earth Spider and Long Yili's rebirth, Longao didn't know about it. Star Cloud City. Longao smoothly returned to Star Cloud City because before he went to Ghost King Sect, he had to deal with one person. That was Ouyang Zhong. According to their agreement, 2 months ago, he and Ouyang Zhong should have a life and death battle. But because of Long Yili's deceitful actions, the battle didn't happen. But Longao was very clear that if Ouyang Zhong wasn't eliminated, it would always be a danger to him and his family. If you cut the grass without removing the roots, it would grow again. The incident of Ouyang Fei leading millions of troops to attack Scarlet Fire Town was still vivid in his mind. Longao told himself that this kind of thing couldn't happen again. So, Ouyang Zhong must die. Star Cloud City. Star Cloud royal family was still the overlord. After all, Ouyang Zhong wasn't dead. Moreover, after so many years of being the overlord, Star Cloud royal family's foundation was there. Ordinary families wouldn't dare to easily replace them. The 4 major families were Long family, Miao family, Cheng family, and Nangong family. If the 4 major families joined forces, they might be able to replace Star Cloud royal family. But Ouyang Zhong was like a mountain, firmly suppressing the 4 major families. No one wanted to take the lead. Star Cloud royal family. Ouyang Zhong's face was gloomy to the extreme. It was as ugly as it could get. Because he never thought that the young master of Sound of Thunder sect would suddenly appear and force Thunder royal family to not interfere in this matter. Sound of Thunder sect was the backing of Thunder royal family. Even if Thunder royal family was given 10,000 guts, they wouldn't dare to go against Sound of Thunder sect. "Old ancestor, what should we do now?" Ouyang Feng's face was gloomy too. Because he never thought that Star Cloud royal family would lose to a brat. Who would have thought that a brat from Scarlet Fire Town's Long family would have such achievements in just a few months? If he didn't see it with his own eyes, he wouldn't believe it even if he was beaten to death. With such talent and potential, once Longao grew up, what would happen to Star Cloud royal family? But Ouyang Feng knew clearly that Star Cloud royal family alone wasn't enough to deal with Longao. Now, there was only one hope, and that was the old ancestor in front of him. Although Ouyang Zhong's injuries weren't fully healed, he had recovered by 80%. As a metamorphosis martial artist, Ouyang Zhong had full confidence. As long as he was in Star Cloud royal family, the 4 major families and even the other kingdoms wouldn't dare to act rashly. This was the deterrence of a metamorphosis martial artist. Chapter 176. In the end, Ouyang Zhong was very afraid of Longao. He knew that with Longao's talent and potential, Longao could surpass him in less than 3 years. At that time, not only him, but even the Nebula royal family would be destroyed. The Thunder royal family is no longer involved in this matter, so we must kill Longao as soon as possible to eliminate future troubles. Old ancestor, according to reliable news, Longao appeared in Flame City and kicked Chai Sheng to death. Chai Sheng? Ouyang Zhong's face changed drastically in an instant. Disbelief was written all over his face as he exclaimed, "Impossible, this is impossible. Not to mention Longao, even I am not Chai Sheng's opponent." Ouyang Feng seemed to have expected such an expression from the old ancestor, so he was not surprised at all. Chai Sheng, a second transformation martial artist, ranked 3rd in the 100 battle ranking. Kicking Chai Sheng to death with one kick, this in itself already explained a problem, and that was that Longao's strength had already surpassed Chai Sheng's. In other words, Longao's current strength had at least reached the so-called second transformation realm. Ordinary people might not know the difference between the 3rd transformation realm and the 3rd transformation realm, but as a first transformation martial artist, how could Ouyang Zhong not know? Is the news true? It should be true. This is going to be troublesome. Is Longao even human? In just a few short months, he has already become a martial artist who has undergone 2 transformations. Feng, no matter what, you have to settle everything within 3 days. After 3 days, our Ouyang clan will withdraw from the imperial family. Withdraw from the royal family? Although Ouyang Feng had expected this result, he was still a little reluctant when it was confirmed. He knew that once the family withdrew from the royal family, it would be extremely difficult to make a comeback in the future. Feng, I know you are reluctant, but you have to know that Longao's current strength is not something we can compete with. So we have to take a step back. Nodding, Ouyang Feng said, "Ancestor, are we going to let Longao go just like that?" "Humph, don't worry. Although the Thunder royal family won't interfere in this matter this time, I can see that the grudge between the Thunder royal family and Longao runs deep. If nothing goes wrong, the 2 sides will fight sooner or later. As long as Longao dies, we'll have a chance to make a comeback. Ouyang Chong, Ouyang Feng, you have no chance to make a comeback." Both Ouyang Chong and Ouyang Feng's faces instantly changed when they saw the black-clothed, white-haired young man walking in. It was as if they had seen a ghost. "Longao. Ouyang Chong, it seems that the battle between you and me will be settled today. Agreed to fight. Longao, you still have the face to talk about a battle?" "We agreed to have a battle to the death in a month, but you didn't show up. So you've already lost. Since you've lost, we'll write off the grudge between us. How about it?" Write off the grudge? Longao wasn't a fool. Of course, he knew what Ouyang Chong meant. If nothing went wrong, it seemed that Ouyang Chong already knew about what happened in Flame City. If that was the case, everything would be easy to explain. Being able to kill Chai Sheng had already proved his strength. It seemed that Ouyang Chong was afraid. "Ouyang Chong, cut the crap. Are you prepared to have a fair battle or kill yourself? You have 2 options. Choose one. Longao, the grudge between you and me hasn't reached the stage of a battle to the death." Waving his hand, Longao didn't give Ouyang Chong any chance to speak. He said, "Ouyang Chong, back then when the Nebula royal family sent out millions of troops to deal with the Scarlet Fire Town, the grudge between us was already like fire and water. Seeing that you're also someone important, I'll give you a choice. Speak." At this moment, Ouyang Chong was indeed afraid. This was because he could clearly sense the aura emitted from Longao's body. If you kill yourself here, the Ouyang family will leave the royal family forever. Otherwise, I'll slaughter the entire Nebula royal family, leaving no one alive. Slaughter? Leaving no one alive? Hearing Longao's words, Ouyang Chong's face became gloomier. At this moment, Ouyang Feng suddenly said, Longao, don't be too ruthless. Otherwise, although Ouyang Feng didn't finish his words, the meaning behind his words was clear. Otherwise, what? Longao, since that's the case, let's get straight to the point. 3 days ago, I've already sent out hundreds of experts. If you insist on going against the Nebula royal family, then I'm sorry to say that the experts I've sent out will secretly kill the Long family's people. I'd like to ask, how many people from the Long family can fight against them? Hearing this, Longao's body suddenly emitted a terrifying murderous aura. It was overwhelming. Ouyang Feng, you're courting death. Longao's heart was heavy. Just like what Ouyang Feng said, once the Nebula royal family sent out experts, they didn't have to deal with the Long family. As long as the Long family came out, they could easily kill the Long family. The Long family was Longao's weakness. Longao knew very well that no matter what happened, nothing could happen to the Long family. Nothing could happen to the Long family. Ouyang Feng, you're playing with fire. Longao, what I mean is very simple. Our grievances will be written off. From now on, you and I will mind our own business. How about that? Ouyang Feng's meaning was very clear. He was afraid of Longao, but he didn't want to withdraw from the royal family. So 3 days ago, he sent out hundreds of experts in order to intimidate Longao, so that Longao wouldn't dare to act recklessly. Originally, Ouyang Feng wasn't fully confident. No matter what, the current Longao wasn't the same as before. If he didn't care about his family, then there was only one way out for the Ouyang family, which was to sacrifice the old ancestor and withdraw from the royal family. Now it seemed that Longao was very worried about his family. Otherwise, he wouldn't have such an attitude. Because of this, Ouyang Feng became more confident. As long as he grasped this point, he wasn't afraid that Longao wouldn't comply. Sure enough. Longao hesitated. It was better to be safe than sorry. If the Nebula royal family really sent experts to ambush around the Scarlet Fire town, then his family would be in danger. Was he going to let Ouyang Zhong go just like that? Longao wasn't a fool. If something happened to him, what would happen to his family? Could it be that the Nebula royal family would really let bygones be bygones? This kind of words could fool ghosts, but if they wanted to fool him, stop dreaming. Thinking of this, Longao's face instantly turned cold. He said, Ouyang Feng, I hate people bargaining with me the most. So now the Nebula royal family has no other choice. I will slaughter the Nebula royal family. Not only you, but also Ouyang Zhong. Are you afraid that this will kill your family? P.S. Please support Little Jew's new book Myriad World God Emperor, thank you. Chapter 177. Without giving Ouyang Feng and Ouyang Zhong any chance to continue speaking, Longao had already made his move. As a transformation realm cultivator, Longao's strength was there for all to see. Seeing Longao shoot towards Ouyang Feng, Ouyang Zhong was shocked. Things had already reached this point. Even if he wanted to avoid the battle, it was not possible. Because of this, Ouyang Zhong also rushed out. In the blink of an eye, Ouyang Zhong and Longao were already engaged in a fierce battle. In an instant, they had fought for more than 10 rounds, but there was no clear winner. First transformation realm? Ouyang Zhong was very curious. When he heard that Longao had kicked Chai Sheng to death, Ouyang Zhong thought that Longao had broken through to the second transformation realm. Now, it seemed that the other party was just a first transformation realm cultivator. However, there was a huge difference between a first transformation realm and a second transformation realm. Ha ha ha, Longao, it turns out that you just broke through to the first transformation realm. Today, I want to see what capital you have to be so arrogant. Sensing the other party's aura, Ouyang Zhong's confidence instantly soared. Although they were both first transformation realm cultivators, he had full confidence that he could kill the other party. With a cold snort, Longao did not say any more nonsense. With the blood-sucking wild saber in hand, each slash was stronger than the previous one. The soul-suppressing seal and the underworld burning seal appeared silently. Under Ouyang Zhong's carelessness, the two seals had already invaded the other party's body and started to corrode his soul. Longao, you. Before Ouyang could finish speaking, he was shocked. He did not dare to be careless. He immediately circulated the strength of his entire body to resist the strange power that was corroding his soul. Once in a blue moon. Of course, Longao would not let go of such a rare opportunity. He took out the God-sealing pearl from his bosom. He wanted to end the battle quickly. Longao did not want to waste time. As he activated the God-sealing pearl, an invisible force spread forward, instantly enveloping Ouyang. In great shock, Ouyang's aura was a little chaotic. Ouyang had never imagined that his body would be frozen. The God-sealing pearl froze the surrounding space. If Longao encountered a martial artist above the human monarch rank, even if he could lock onto the other party, he would not be able to do so for long. However, the current situation was completely different. After all, Ouyang was only a martial artist who had undergone a metamorphosis. Until now, Ouyang still couldn't figure out why his body was locked down by the other party and couldn't move at all. His face was filled with a murderous aura. He took a big stride forward. Before he arrived, a terrifying saber light had already slashed down and split Ouyang into two. Looking at Ouyang, who was about to leave, Longao suddenly smiled and said, "Ouyang, where are you going?" When Ouyang heard this, he stopped abruptly. He turned around and stared at the black-clothed, white-haired youth in front of him. He said, "Longao, you win. You can kill me or torture me as you wish. However, I still have to give you a piece of advice. Destroying my Ouyang clan will not benefit your Long clan at all." Waving his hand, Longao said, "Ouyang, now that Ouyang is dead, I'm willing to reconcile with the Ouyang family. What do you think?" Reconcile? He seemed to be very surprised. Ouyang had always thought that since the other party had killed the old ancestor, the other party would definitely deal with him next. But now, what the hell was the other party doing? Ouyang, you're right. I have to take care of my family. Most importantly, I treat Ouyang as a friend. Whether he is now or not, he was once. Therefore, the grudge between me and the Star Cloud royal family will be written off. However, the Ouyang clan must promise me one thing. I know what to do. 3 days later, my Ouyang clan will withdraw from the royal family. Longao, you're a character. Longao, thank you. Looking at Ouyang who suddenly appeared, Longao wasn't surprised at all. Because with his current strength, as long as Ouyang approached, he would be able to sense it immediately. Ouyang, I've just said that whether we are now friends or not, we were once friends. Therefore, the grudge between the Ouyang clan and me will be written off. However, you can continue to stay in Star Cloud City. Continue to stay? Whether it was Ouyang or Ouyang, both of them knew what Longao meant. He just wanted to protect the Ouyang clan. However, the Ouyang clan had already withdrawn from the royal family. The National Guardian Hall and the old ancestor had both fallen. If they left Star Cloud City, there would only be one outcome: death. Longao's intention was very simple. He wanted the Ouyang clan to continue to stay in Star Cloud City. At least with Longao's protection, the surrounding kingdoms wouldn't dare to touch the Ouyang clan. Brother Long, I want to ask, if our Ouyang clan withdraws from the royal family, which family will enter the royal family? Ouyang knew that there was a rule in the royal family. Long family branches were not allowed to enter the royal family. Therefore, Ouyang was sure that the Long family would definitely not enter the royal family. Scarlet Fire Town's Wang clan. Longao didn't hide this point. After the Ouyang clan withdrew from the royal family, the Wang clan would take over the royal family and become the new overlord of the Star Cloud Kingdom. Ouyang seemed to want to say something, but he didn't say it in the end. This was because he was the one who pushed Longao to be his friend. Longao left Star Cloud royal family. In just 3 days, the Ouyang clan had already announced their withdrawal from the royal family. As for Ouyang's death, the Ouyang clan chose to hide it. Not only that, after the Ouyang clan withdrew from the royal family, they didn't leave Star Cloud City immediately. Instead, they became a big family in Star Cloud City. Originally, There were only 4 major clans in Star Cloud City. They were the rank 5 Long clan, Miao clan, Cheng clan, and Nangong clan. Now, with the addition of the Ouyang clan, the 4 major clans had turned into 5 major clans. No matter what, the Ouyang clan's foundation and strength were there for all to see. In just one day, they had steadily surpassed the other 4 major clans. Just when everyone was wondering why the Ouyang clan withdrew from the royal family, the Wang clan of the Scarlet Fire Town suddenly announced that they would enter the royal family and become the new Star Cloud royal family. Change of dynasty? If it was a change of dynasty under normal circumstances, there would be rivers of blood and corpses everywhere. But what about now? Almost no one died. The Ouyang clan took the initiative to withdraw and the Wang clan entered the royal family. It seemed so easy. If a big family entered the royal family, there wouldn't be any complaints. But now, the Wang clan of the Scarlet Fire Town. In the eyes of the 4 big families, the Wang clan of the Scarlet Fire Town was just a small family. Not to mention the Ouyang clan, even the 4 big families were dissatisfied with the Wang clan entering the royal family. But at this moment, Longao suddenly appeared. Although he didn't say it clearly, his attitude was clear. He supported the Wang clan. The 4 big families weren't afraid of the Wang clan, but they were very afraid of Longao. Notification for iPhone users: the next chapter will begin. Brothers who are using iPhones, please take note. Due to copyright restrictions, currently, those who are using the QQ reading app on iPhones won't be able to see the next chapter. You can directly open your phone's browser and search for Tencent's website from Baidu. There will be a category of Book City. Click on Book City and search for Longao's God of War. Then, you can continue reading. After that, save the web page as a bookmark. It's convenient and fast. God of War Sect Group 217135300. Welcome to the group. If you have anything to say, just say it directly. Chapter 178. Nebula Imperial Family. The current Nebula Imperial family had changed from the Ouyang family to the current Wang family. There were 5 major families in Nebula City. They were the level 5 Long family, Miao family, Cheng family, Nangong family, and the newly joined Ouyang family. Aside from the Ouyang family and Long family, the other 3 major families, Miao family, Cheng family, and Nangong family, were not convinced that the Scarlet Fire Town's Wang family had entered the Nebula Imperial family. However, because of Longao, the 3 major families did not dare to say anything. Imperial Family, Main Hall. After the Wang family entered the Imperial family, Wang Yidao did not become the emperor. The one who inherited the throne was Yu Yin's father, Wang Han. Our Wang family has entered the Imperial family. The other families are eyeing us covetously. Once they make a comeback, I'm afraid we won't stand a chance. How could Longao not know about Grandpa Wang's worries? After all, the Wang family was too weak. Compared to the 5 major families in Nebula City, they were not on the same level. Grandpa Wang, our current situation does not allow us to continue waiting. Since we have entered the Imperial family, from now on, the Wang family has to develop our strength. Brother Wang, don't you have confidence? Longao said with a smile. Long family had a rule that stated that the Long family was not allowed to enter the Imperial family. Otherwise, the Long family would have entered the Imperial family instead of the Wang family. Brother Long, even you are laughing at me. Looking at the depressed Wang Yidao, Longao said, Brother Wang, since things have already come to this, show some courage. Brother Long, I have the courage, but I need your support. Wang Yidao was very smart. Of course, he knew that no matter how strong Longao was or how far he went, he had to listen to Longao. His status would never change. Longao and Longao knew what Wang Yidao meant. Longao smiled and said, the relationship between the Long family and the Wang family is clear. Nothing will happen. My Long family will stand behind you and support the Wang family forever. How about it? After getting Longao's guarantee, Wang Yidao burst into laughter. Wang Han, Yu Yin's father and the current emperor of the Nebula royal family, winked at Longao. The 2 of them understood tacitly and quietly left the room, leaving Wang Yidao and Long Haosha alone. Outside the palace. "Uncle, are you looking for me?" Nodding his head, Wang Han was very satisfied with his son-in-law and said, "Aoa, is there any news about Yu Yin?" Yu Yin. Until now, Long Ao still hadn't received any news about Yu Yin. He only knew that Yu Yin had been taken away by a mysterious expert. Even if he wanted to find out, he had no idea where to start. "Uncle, there's no news yet, but I'll look for him later. I'm sorry." Wang Han smiled and said, "Aoa, you don't have to blame yourself. I've seen Yu Yin's master a few times. But this time, I didn't expect that he would take away Yu Yin directly. It won't be easy to find Yu Yin in the vast sea of people." Long Ao shook his head helplessly and didn't say anything. He didn't know what to say. The next day, Long Ao and Long Haosha left the Nebula royal family and headed towards the Scarlet Fire town. Currently, the Scarlet Fire town was dominated by the Long family. As for the Wang family entering the royal family, Long Ao was very confident. As long as he was alive, the 5 major families wouldn't act rashly. Once he died, it would be hard to predict whether it would be a blessing or a disaster. Scarlet Fire town, Long family. Long Ao returned this time. Other than cultivating, he spent most of his time with his parents, grandfather, brothers, and sisters. Spiritual balls. In just a few days, Long Ao asked Long Fu to make many spiritual balls. They were filled with energy. The energy that Long Fu refined with the help of the blood pool was different from the energy of the soul. Ordinary warriors could absorb it. Calculating the time, there were about 15 days left before Aoshua and Zhong Zhihang's wedding day. In other words, Long Ao had to set off in 5 days. Otherwise, he wouldn't be able to reach the Ghost King sect. Long Ao knew very well that this time, his life and death were unknown. If he was unlucky and died in the Ghost King sect, what would happen to his family? It was because of this that Long Ao asked Long Fu to make so many spiritual balls. Even if he died in the Ghost King sect, he believed that with these spiritual balls, the family would be able to protect themselves after a few years of cultivation. The entire Long family didn't know what was going on with Long Ao. Why did he obediently stay in the family this time? If it was any other time, Long Ao would have left long ago. Everyone hoped that Long Ao would stay in the family, so no one doubted him. In the room. "Father, Mother, I'm going to leave the family. Maybe I'll be gone for a long time. If there's anything, you can go find the Fire Qilin. I've already talked to him." "Aoa, you're leaving the family again?" Mu Lin looked reluctant. Long Yi smiled and said, "Aoa has grown up. A man should be like this. Don't worry. I'll take care of your mother. Nothing will happen." Parents, the closest people in the world. Long Ao kept telling himself that no matter what happened, he couldn't let anything happen to his parents. Even if he died, he couldn't let anything happen to them. As for the matter of him going to the Ghost King sect, Long Ao did not mention a word because he did not want his parents to worry. For the remaining 5 days, Long Ao stayed by his parents' side and did not leave. 80 days. There were less than 10 days left before the 3-month deadline. Long Ao knew that it was time for him to leave. Otherwise, if he missed the wedding, he would really lose Aoshua. Aoshua didn't think that he was a playboy. Until now, there were only 2 women he truly loved. The first was undoubtedly Yu Yin, and the second was Aoshua. Whether it was Yu Yin or Aoshua, they couldn't leave here. At the peak of the Crimson Volcano, Long Ao stood quietly as the cold wind blew and looked at the endless void in the distance. This trip to the Ghost King sect could be said to be a narrow escape. He couldn't be careless. If there was even the slightest mistake, the consequences would be unimaginable. The Ghost King sect was a dragon's pool and a tiger's den. However, the Ghost King sect had Aoshua. So no matter what, Long Ao would go to the Ghost King sect. As the saying goes, knowing that there is a tiger in the mountain, he would still go to the tiger's mountain. This was Long Ao's current state of mind. Clenching his fists tightly, he looked at the endless black void. Gradually, the dawn of the morning slowly descended, illuminating the entire earth. At the peak of the Crimson Volcano, Longao stood there for an entire night without moving. Even the expression on his face didn't change. Aoshue, wait for me. No matter what happens, I won't let you marry Zhong Zhihang. You will always be my woman. Ghost King Sect, I'm coming. Chapter 179. Ghost King Sect, one of the 6 major sects. Although Ghost King Sect was not the strongest among the 6 major sects, it was still powerful in front of Ghost King Ao Tian. Together with Golden Sun Sect, Aoshue and Zhong Zhihang's wedding could be said to be the most sensational event in Tianzhu. Not only did the master of the 4 major sects come in person, but even the emperors of Flame Empire and Thunder Empire came in person. Ghost King Peak. The huge square was crowded with people. At a glance, there were people everywhere. On the stage, the patriarchs of the 6 major sects landed respectively. In front of the 6 of them, even the emperors of the Fire Empire and Thunder Empire were not qualified to sit. After all, the 2 great empires were only a branch of the Fire Sect and Thunder Sect. Brother Ao, congratulations, congratulations. Brother Zhong, congratulations as well. No matter how unhappy and unwilling Ao Tian was, he could only accept the fact that things had come to this point. Therefore, on the surface, Ao Tian was smiling as if he was very happy. Zhong Mo, master of Golden Sun Sect, and Ao Tian, master of Ghost King Sect, together, they were enough to look down on Tianzhu. The master of Blood Sea Sect, Wind Thunder Sect, Flame Sect, and Thunder Sect congratulated at the same time. The 6 major sects looked very harmonious, but in fact, they were fighting openly and secretly. They all wanted to destroy each other and dominate Tianzhu. After everyone arrived and finished congratulating, Ao Tian suddenly stood up and coughed softly. In an instant, the nearly 10,000 people in the square immediately became silent. Everyone looked at Ao Tian on the stage, especially the disciples of Ghost Sect. Their faces were full of pride. After all, it was just a wedding, but they could invite the master of the 4 major sects to come in person. Who else could have this honor? They seemed to be very satisfied with this effect. Ao Tian said, "Thank you for coming to my daughter's wedding today. Let's not talk too much. The wedding officially begins now." The wedding officially began. As soon as Ao Tian finished speaking, the whole square was in an uproar. Everyone was shouting, but as for what they were shouting, it was a mess. At this moment, the Ghost King Sect's main hall slowly opened, and a couple walked out. They were the 2 protagonists of today's wedding, Aoshue of Ghost King Sect, and Zhong Zhihang of Golden Sun Sect. Zhong Zhihang, the number 1 genius of the Golden Sun Sect, ranked 3rd on the 100 battle ranking at such a young age. His cultivation had broken through to the peak of the earthly emperor realm. It could be said that Zhong Zhihang was the pride of the Gold Sun Sect. Looking at his son, Zhong Mo's face was full of pride. He could completely predict that in a dozen years, when his son fully grew up and took over as the master of the Golden Sun Sect, the sect would be able to reach a higher level. While Zhong Mo was proud of himself, the others were extremely displeased, especially the master of the 4 sects. Zhong Zhihang and Aoshue slowly walked up to the stage. At this moment, Zhong Zhihang had an indescribable expression on his face. After all, Aoshue was known as the number 1 beauty in Tianzhu. He wanted Aoshue even in his dreams. Zhong Mo and Ao Tian looked at each other and nodded. They didn't say anything. Everything was in silence. Xia Jun, Hua Teng, the 2 geniuses from the Blazing Flame Sect and the Battle of Thunder were watching the wedding coldly. Both of them were looking forward to seeing if Longao would come today. Blood Sea Sect, Guan Feng. Elder Du, what have you heard? Du Yunxian whispered, "Master, I've already asked around. Longao and Aoshue are indeed in an ambiguous relationship. However, because of the Golden Sun Sect, the Ghost King had no choice but to marry his daughter to Zhong Zhihang. Therefore, I can say that Aoshue didn't intend to get married today. I want to know if Longao will come today." Guan Feng didn't care about Longao. He only cared about one thing, which was that the more chaotic the wedding today, the better. As long as the Golden Sun Sect and the Ghost King Sect turned against each other, the Blood Sea Sect could reap the benefits. Guanfeng already knew about Longao's recent affairs. Master, I'm afraid Longao won't come today. First, Longao is a smart man. Of course, he knows the gap between him and the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect. He won't come to die in vain. Second, the Ghost King sect has sent experts to block the entrance. Therefore, even if Longao comes, I'm afraid he can't come up. Oh, Master, it seems that the Ghost King and Zhongmo both want this wedding to go smoothly. Go smoothly? There was a gloomy smile on Guanfeng's face. The two of them didn't continue to talk, because the wedding had officially begun. Brother Ao, will you preside? Waving his hand, Ao Tian said with a smile, Brother Zhong, you're too polite. You do it. Looking at the two old foxes, who were giving in to each other, the people around felt very annoyed. The two obviously had their own ulterior motives, but on the surface, they seemed to have a mutual understanding. In that case, Brother Ao, I won't refuse. Zhongmo stood up and came to Aoshue and Zhong Zhihang. He took a deep look at his son and gave him a look. The meaning was very clear. Aoshue, are you happy today? Hearing his son's words, Zhongmo almost fell to the ground. What was wrong with his son today? Others might not know, but how could his son not know? Aoshue's heart wasn't with him at all. Asking this question was like a normal person asking an idiot, are you normal? Glaring fiercely at his son, Zhongmo said with a smile, Today, my son and Aoshue are getting married. I'm very happy, so I'll preside over the wedding myself. Brother Zhong, please wait for a moment. I have a few words to say. Zhongmo, who was preparing to preside over the wedding, heard Guanfeng's words and his face instantly turned gloomy. Even Ao Tian's face didn't look too good. After all, the wedding was about to begin. Guanfeng, the master of the Blood Sea sect, was clearly looking for trouble. If it was just the Ghost King sect or the Gold Sun sect, the Blood Sea sect would be fine. After all, the strength of the 6 great sects was, strictly speaking, about the same. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to compete with each other for so many years without a victor being decided. If Guanfeng dared to do this at a normal time, Zhongmo and Ao Tian would have been furious. However, they couldn't do so now. After all, the wedding hadn't started yet. The two of them clearly knew that Guanfeng dared to do this because he knew this. Because of this, Guanfeng suppressed the anger in his heart and asked coldly, I wonder what Brother Guan has to say? If it's not important, we can talk about it after the wedding. How about it? Waving his hand, Guanfeng was obviously looking for trouble. How could he wait until the wedding was over? He said, I think it's better to do it now. Brother Zhong, I want to ask you. Not long ago, we both got the sovereign golden pill together. How are you going to deal with it? Chapter 180. Supreme Golden Core. Everyone's expression changed when they heard the words Supreme Golden Core. It turned out that a month ago, the 6 sects found a Supreme Golden Core at the same time. They worked together to kill a super spiritual beast and got it. Eventually, it fell into the hands of the Golden Sun sect. According to Zhongmo, the Supreme Golden Core would be kept by the Golden Sun sect for the time being. If it was an ordinary thing, Guanfeng wouldn't say anything. However, he knew what the Supreme Golden Core meant. The master of the Sound of Thunder sect, Xia Fang, also said with a smile, Brother Zhong, Brother Guan is right. The Supreme Golden Core was found by the 6 sects together. It's not a good idea to keep it in the Golden Sun sect. Why don't you hand it over and we'll keep it together? Ao Tian, who was very angry, immediately calmed down when he heard the words Supreme Golden Core. He also wanted to keep the Supreme Golden Core for himself. The master of the Fire sect, Huoshi, snorted and said, In my opinion, Brother Zhong doesn't want to hand over the Supreme Golden Core at all. Maybe Brother Zhong has already swallowed it. Huoshi, don't talk nonsense. The Sovereign Golden Pill was something that the 6 great sects yearned for even in their dreams. Zhongmo didn't dare to be careless. If this matter wasn't solved well, the 5 sects would join forces to deal with the Golden Sun sect. Even if he was unwilling to take it out, Zhongmo still took out a small golden ball from his arms. The surface of the ball was shining. He didn't need to touch it. Just by feeling it, he knew that the Supreme Golden Core was not simple. Supreme Golden Core. Looking at the Supreme Golden Core in Zhongmo's hand, everyone's face was full of greed. Ordinary disciples didn't know what the Supreme Golden Core was, but the master of the 5 sects, Hua Teng, and the others knew very well. Guan Feng seemed to be a little impatient. He said, "Brother Zhong, since you didn't take the Supreme Golden Core for yourself, let's discuss how to deal with it now." There was only one Supreme Golden Core, but the 6 sects all wanted it. Who should he give it to? In front of the Supreme Golden Core, Aoshue and Zhong Zhihang's wedding seemed insignificant. No matter how eager Zhong Zhihang was to start, he still held back. "Brother Guan, why don't you give us your opinion on how to deal with this Supreme Golden Core?" Guan Feng didn't speak and looked at the other 4. No matter what, this sovereign golden pill belonged to the 6 major sects. Even if they wanted to deal with it, it would have to be decided by the 6 major sects. For a moment, no one said anything. "Brother Guan, if you have any suggestions, feel free to speak." The 6 major sects had never done something like this before. However, the 5 of them were no fools. If they were to forcefully snatch the sovereign golden pill, they would only end up in a situation where both sides would suffer. It was precisely because of this that the 5 of them began to ponder over Guan Feng's suggestion. In an instant, the 5 of them had already thought through the pros and cons. They didn't hesitate and immediately agreed. Zhongmo said, "Okay, let's do as Brother Guan said. 1 month later, the 6 sects will hold a 6-sect battle. 10 people from each sect will participate. At that time, I will put the Supreme Golden Core somewhere and see who has the ability to get it." Guan Feng nodded. Now that the Supreme Golden Core was settled, Guan Feng finally smiled and said, "Now that we're done with the business, we can continue with the wedding." Zhongmo cursed in his heart. He knew that Guan Feng was purposely bringing up this matter today to force him to hand over the sovereign golden pill. They weren't fools. If they asked for the Supreme Golden Core at any other time, it would be very troublesome. But at today's wedding, they knew that they wouldn't refuse. Ghost King Ao Tian suddenly smiled. He was relieved that the matter of the Supreme Golden Core was settled. At the very least, he had a 1 in 6 chance to get the Supreme Golden Core. No matter what happened, he had to get the Supreme Golden Core. Not only the Ghost King, even the master of the other sects were determined to get the Supreme Golden Core. If he wasn't afraid of the 5 great sects, Zhongmo would have swallowed the Supreme Golden Core. Ghost King Ao Tian coughed and said, "Just a small matter. Let the wedding officially begin. Brother Zhong, please." Zhongmo threw away all the unhappiness in his heart and said, "The wedding officially begins." Zhong Zhihang glared at the Blood River sect and suddenly said with a smile, "Aoshue, I'm really happy to be able to marry you today." "Really?" Aoshue, whose face was covered by the red veil, didn't say anything. There was no expression on her face, but her right hand was tightly holding a sharp knife. After this moment, Aoshue would use the knife to commit suicide. "Aoshue, why aren't you saying anything?" "I have nothing to say. I just want to finish the wedding as soon as possible, so please hurry." Zhong Zhihang simply ignored Aoshue's coldness. Anyway, he had already gotten it. He nodded and said, okay. If you say hurry, then hurry. From today on, you, Aoshue, are my woman." Coldly snorting, Aoshue didn't say anything else. She was already prepared to commit suicide at any moment. It's still the same saying. Born as a member of the Long family, dead as a ghost of the Long family. One had to admit that Aoshue was indeed a woman who was infatuated with love. No one knew what Aoshue was thinking, not even Ghost King Ao Tian. Zhong Zhihang looked at Zhongmo and nodded. He said in a small voice, "Father, let's start." Zhongmo didn't want to complicate things. After all, the longer things dragged on, no one knew what would happen. Because of this, Zhongmo didn't continue to hesitate. The wedding officially begins. "Zhihang, let me ask you, are you willing to take Aoshue as your wife?" "I'm willing." Zhong Zhihang didn't even think before answering. "Aoshue, are you willing to marry Zhong Zhihang as your wife?" "I don't want to." The sudden voice completely shocked everyone. When everyone saw the white-haired young man in black walking slowly from the distance, they were all extremely surprised. They did not know who this person was and how dare he come to the Ghost King sect to make trouble. Chapter 181. He was dressed in black and had a head of white hair. He was a proud and aloof youth. The person who came was none other than Longao. Among the tens of thousands of people in the Ghost King sect, only a few knew Longao. So when they saw someone coming to make trouble, everyone was speechless. In Tianju, who dared to make trouble in the Ghost King sect? Longao. Pulling off the red veil on her face, Aoshue suppressed the excitement in her heart, but she was still full of worry. Aoshue, leave this to me. No matter what happens, you are my woman, Longao's woman. Things had come to this point. Aoshue knew that there was no way to deal with the aftermath. Even if Longao wanted to leave at this time, even if her father was willing, the Gold Sun sect would not agree. Since there was no way out, they had to face it together. Longao ignored everyone's gaze and came to Aoshue's side. He took Aoshue's hand and asked, "Will you marry me?" "Yes." "Ha ha ha, good. Today, I will officially marry you, Aoshue, in front of everyone in the world." "Longao, you are courting death." His wife was proposed to in public. What a joke. Not to mention other things, after this matter, where would he put his face? Where would the Gold Sun sect's face be? Before Zhong Zhihang could make a move, Zhong Mo had already stopped him. His face was extremely gloomy. Zhong Zhihang asked, "Father, leave this to me." There was no trace of anger on Zhong Mo's face. He sneered and said, "Longao, I really wonder what gave you such great courage. Do you really think you are invincible?" Directly ignoring Zhong Mo, Longao turned to look at the Ghost King, who was the so-called future father-in-law, and said, "Uncle, I am now officially marrying Aoshue as my wife. I hope you can agree." "No." Without even thinking about it, Ao Tian the Ghost King directly refused. What a joke. If he agreed to this, wouldn't he be going against the Golden Sun sect? Although Ao Tian appreciated Longao very much, the strength of one person was limited. Compared with the entire Golden Sun sect, Longao was so insignificant. On one side was Longao, and on the other was Golden Sun sect. Ao Tian did not even have to think about it, and had already made a choice. He had already guessed that the Ghost King would be like this. No matter what, Aoshue was the Ghost King's daughter. He had to follow the rules and ask, otherwise it would be a little unkind. "Aoshue, what should I do if your father doesn't agree? In life, I'm your woman. In death, I'm your ghost, you brat." Brat. Hearing Aoshue call him a brat, Longao's body suddenly trembled. He suddenly laughed out loud and said, "Uncle, since you don't agree, then I have nothing to say. I'm marrying Aoshue today." "Well, Longao, I admire you." Xie Jun stood up, applauding and cheering. Obviously, he did not take the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect seriously. In any case, among the 6 major sects, the Fiery Flame sect and the Thunder sect were recognized as the strongest. Hu Teng's face was gloomy to the extreme. Although he was unwilling to admit it, he had to admire Longao's courage. If it were him, would he dare to come to the Ghost King sect alone? The answer was obviously no. "Hu Teng, are you jealous?" "Xie Jun, shut up. Don't forget that Longao and the Thunder Royal family have a great feud. I believe that in the future, they will definitely meet on the battlefield. At that time, you will still be sworn enemies." Hearing Hu Teng's words, Xie Jun laughed and said, "You don't have to worry about this. I will solve it myself." Longao did not want to be entangled. He took Aoshue's hand and was ready to leave. "Longao, it seems that you want to die." Bang! With a loud noise, Longao took 3 steps back. A trace of blood oozed from the corner of his mouth. His face was extremely ugly because the person who had just injured him was not Zhong Zhihang and his son, but Aoshue's father, the master of the Ghost King sect, Ao Tian. Powerful, very powerful. Ao Tian gave Longao only one feeling, that was power. He had always been confident in his own strength, but Longao did not seem to have the slightest strength to fight back in the face of Aoshue's father. If there was no accident, Ao Tian's cultivation should have reached the so-called Dao ancestor, which was the peak of the transformation realm. Father, let me go. Let me go. Shut up. It was unknown what Ao Tian did, but Aoshue's body was motionless. She could only watch her eyes rolling. Longao, for the sake of your reputation, I can let bygones be bygones. But you must leave now. Zhong Zhihang seemed to want to say something, but he was stopped by Zhong Mo, who shook his head. His meaning was very clear. No matter what, this was the Ghost King sect, the territory of the Ghost King. If he took the place of the host, it would be very troublesome. In fact, Zhong Mo's meaning was very simple. Once today's wedding was over, there would be plenty of opportunities to deal with Longao in the future. There was no need to offend the Ghost King sect for a Longao. But what about Longao? Longao did not choose to leave. He stood there coldly and arrogantly, staring at Aoshue. Suddenly, he asked, "Do you regret it?" Ignoring all the people around, tens of thousands of people in the square were chattering. They were all talking about the matter between Longao and Aoshue. Longao, a metamorphosis martial artist, ranked third on the 100 battle ranking list. Perhaps in the secular world, he was already standing at the peak. But in the eyes of the disciples of the 6 biggest sects, Longao was nothing at all. He was just a joke. Because of this, everyone could not figure out why an insignificant secular person dared to be so arrogant and ignore the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect. Even the top 3 superfigures on the Fengyun list would not dare to do such a thing. Aoshue was suppressed by Ao Tian's momentum. She could not move, but she could speak. With determination written on her face, Aoshue's voice spread out. Everyone heard it clearly. If you live, I live. If you die, I die. As long as you don't leave me, I will live and die with you. Hearing this, Longao did not continue to hesitate. He looked at the Ghost King Ao Tian and said, "Master Ao, no matter what happens today, I will take Aoshue away." But the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect joined hands to bully me. If this matter spreads out, the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect will be laughed at in the world. Longao was not a reckless person. With his personal strength, it was impossible for him to take Aoshue away from the Ghost King sect, let alone the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect. Just as the Ghost King was about to say something, Zhong Mo suddenly said, "Brother Ao, can you leave this matter to me?" Ao Tian nodded. In fact, in his heart, he was really unwilling to kill Longao. At this time, Aoshue suddenly said, "Father, have you forgotten what you promised me? No matter when, no matter what happens, you can't hurt Longao." Chapter 182. Hearing Aoshue's words, Ao Tian's face was gloomy to the extreme. Ao Tian did not speak, but his meaning was clear. Zhong Mo sneered, his face full of contempt and disdain. He said, "Longao, you came here alone this time. It seems that you are very confident in your strength. So what? Ha ha ha, well, I'll give you a chance now. You fight with Zhihang. As long as you can defeat my son, you can leave. How about that? Fight with Zhong Zhihang?" Hearing this, everyone laughed sarcastically and unscrupulously. Because in everyone's opinion, once Longao accepted the challenge, he would be killed by Zhong Zhihang without any doubt. Zhong Zhihang, the super genius of Golden Sun sect, ranked third on the Fengyun list and a warrior at the peak of the earthly royal realm. Longao, ranked third on the 100 battle ranking, came from the secular world and was just a metamorphosis warrior. It could be said that the two were not at the same level at all. Longao, I formally challenge you now. Do you dare to accept the challenge? Zhong Zhihang had full confidence in his own strength. A small transformation realm martial artist was nothing in his eyes. At most, he would need 10 moves, or even less than 10 moves, to kill his opponent. Accept the challenge? Everyone stopped discussing and looked at Longao one by one. The disdain and contempt on their faces became even stronger. Longao's white hair was wantonly fluttering in the breeze. He was dressed in black with a head full of white hair. Longao coldly stood in the same place. Just when everyone thought that he didn't dare to accept the challenge, Longao's voice had already spread out. I accept the challenge. I accept the challenge. Hearing that Longao agreed to fight, everyone ridiculed him crazily. Their laughter was filled with disdain. Because in everyone's opinion, Longao was seeking his own death by accepting the challenge. He didn't even have the slightest chance. Longao, don't. With a confident smile, Longao said, Aoshue, don't worry. No matter what happens today, I will take you away. Go to hell. Seeing Longao and Aoshue flirting with each other, Zhong Zhihang couldn't stand it. He roared and rushed out. The powerful aura of the earthly sovereign directly suppressed them. It covered the sky and covered the earth like a torrential sea. Longao did not dare to be careless either. Anyway, Zhong Zhihang's strength was at the peak of the earthly sovereign realm. He was only one step away from the so-called Tao ancestor realm. The 5 transmutation realms, from lowest to highest, were the lightning tribulation realm, transmutation realm, human king realm, earthly sovereign realm, and Tao ancestor realm. Longao's cultivation had just reached the first transformation realm. The gap between him and the peak of the earth sovereign realm was too big. After all, it was very difficult to make up for the gap between the realms. The wild drinking saber instantly appeared in his hand. Without the slightest hesitation, he directly used the 8 styles of blood drinking and fiercely chopped at Zhong Zhihang. The first 4 styles of the 8 styles of blood drinking were the first style, 9 consecutive strikes of underworld, the second style, heart-devouring ice, the third style, sea of raging flames, and the fourth style, swordlight of destruction. The 4 styles combined into one and layered on top of each other. Even a warrior of the second transformation realm or even a warrior of the third transformation realm would find it difficult to dodge. However, Zhong Zhihang was a warrior of the peak of the earthly sovereign realm. He was too lazy to dodge and directly chose to meet force with force. Moreover, he was bare-handed. This was the gap in strength, which brought about confidence and confidence. The fist and the saber collided without any sound. Longao's body had been smashed away by the fist. He only felt an unparalleled force coming from the saber. He didn't even have the chance to react. Longao knew very well that this was the strength of an earthly sovereign realm warrior. Longao's heart was greatly shocked. He forcefully turned his body and stopped. There was no expression on his face, but a trace of blood had already seeped out from the corner of his mouth. Anyone with a discerning eye could already see who had won this battle. One move. With just one move, Zhong Zhihang defeated Longao. He was worthy of being a super figure ranked 3rd on the Fengyun list. Everyone looked at Zhong Zhihang with admiration. As for Longao, their expressions were just the opposite. They looked down on him. Longao, you'd better go. Longao just smiled and didn't answer Aoshue's words. Because before he came, he had already decided that no matter what happened, even if he died in Ghost King sect, he would take Aoshue away. What joy was there in life and what fear was there in death? Zhong Zhihang's face was also full of ridicule. He said contemptuously, Longao, I thought you were arrogant and powerful. It turns out that you were just trying to scare me. You are really shameless. If it weren't for your good birth, with just you alone. Ha ha ha. Hearing this, Zhong Zhihang suddenly looked up to the sky and laughed as if he had heard the funniest thing in the world. His face suddenly froze. In order to regain his dignity as a man in front of Aoshue, Zhong Zhihang said coldly, Longao, I'll give you a chance. Kneel here, apologize to me, and break your own arms. I'll be magnanimous and let you go this time. Otherwise, although Zhong Zhihang did not finish his words, the meaning of his words was already very clear. In this case, everyone could completely imagine what the consequences would be as long as Longao did not agree to this matter. He would definitely be obliterated by Zhong Zhihang. There was no doubt about it. Kneel. As the saying goes, a man's knees were gold. Knees meant everything to a man. Of course, Longao knew that Zhong Zhihang was doing this to embarrass him in front of Aoshue so that he could get back at her. If it were an ordinary person, they would have knelt down long ago. However, Longao would never do that. In fact, if it were someone else, they wouldn't even come here, let alone kneel down and break their own arms. Since he was here, how could Longao choose to compromise, let alone kneel down and break his own arms? Shaking his head, Longao said sadly, "A shameless tree will definitely die. A shameless man is invincible. According to your current realm, I can only give you 6 words." 6 words. Longao's words completely aroused the curiosity of everyone around. They didn't know what words Longao was going to give to Zhong Zhihang. A shameless man is invincible. A person who is too shameless is invincible. Hearing Longao's words, many people around couldn't help but burst into laughter. However, Zhong Mo stared at them coldly, and they were so scared that they immediately shut up and could only hold back their laughter. "Longao, looks like you're looking for death." Hearing the words that the other party gave him and the laughter that came from all around, Zhong Zhihang's face was already extremely gloomy. He clenched his fists tightly, as if he could attack at any time. "Zhong Zhihang, you are a cultivator and ranked 3rd on the wind cloud list. However, I did not expect you to be so shameless. The person Aoshue likes is clearly me. Yet, you openly snatched her away. I want to ask you, are you willing to become a cultivator?" Chapter 183. I want to ask you, will you accompany me to become a martial artist? Shameless. They had seen shameless people, but they had never seen such a shameless person. Everyone looked at the shameless Longao, and some people even started to curse. Today was the day of Zhong Zhihang and Aoshue's wedding, and Longao came to steal the bride, but now? Longao said that he and Aoshue were in love, and Zhong Zhihang came to disturb them. This kind of shamelessness was unique in the world. Ignoring the curses and ridicule around him, in Longao's view, he and Aoshue were in love and were ready to be together forever, but because of a marriage contract, Aoshue was forced to marry Zhong Zhihang. Wasn't Zhong Zhihang the one who ruined it? Zhong Zhihang didn't even bother to say more. He took out the marriage contract from his arms and said with a sneer, "My marriage contract with Aoshue. I want to ask you, trash, what do you have? I have a heart that loves Aoshue. I dare to die for Aoshue. Do you dare?" Zhong Zhihang was speechless. There was no doubt that he liked Aoshue or not. He was 100% sure that he liked Aoshue, but it was impossible for him to die for Aoshue. Women were dispensable in Zhong Zhihang's eyes. The marriage contract is like floating clouds in my eyes. Looking at the extremely shameless youngster with a cold and arrogant face, Zhong Zhihang suddenly laughed loudly. He laughed wildly and said, "What you said is very right. The engagement is meaningless. Longao, today I will cut you into 8 pieces." Zhong Zhihang obviously had the intention to kill, regardless of anything. Even the relationship between Longao and the Ghost King sect was thrown to the back of his mind. Now, in Zhong Zhihang's heart, there was only one decision, and that was to tear Longao into pieces. Zhong Zhihang moved again. But in the next second, Zhong Zhihang's face suddenly changed, because he found that the space around him seemed to be frozen, causing his body to be locked and unable to move at all. What happened to Zhong Zhihang? Everyone looked at Zhong Zhihang's body that had suddenly stopped. Their faces were filled with shock. They had no idea what had happened. "Zhihang, what's wrong?" Even Zhong Mo felt that something was amiss. No matter what, Zhong Mo was at the same level as Ao Tian. Of course, he could sense the spatial fluctuations around his son. Could it be Longao's doing? It was because of this that Zhong Mo's expression changed. Even now, he still couldn't figure out how Longao did it. God-locking pearl. Longao was very clear that with his strength, even if there were 10 of him, he would not be Zhong Zhihang's match. An earthly sovereign martial artist would always be an earthly sovereign martial artist. His strength was there for all to see. Soul-suppressing seal, underworld burning seal, blood-drinking 8 styles, and so on seemed to be useless against Zhong Zhihang. So Longao used the God-locking pearl in the end. But the pearl was too eye-catching. Once it was recognized, even if he could safely leave Ghost King sect, he believed that trouble would continue to come for him in the future. After using the God-locking pearl and successfully locking Zhong Zhihang temporarily, Longao was delighted. How could he easily let go of such a rare opportunity? With a big stride, he had already rushed out. Before he arrived, The shocking saber light had already arrived. Longao was very clear that no matter how powerful the God-locking pearl was, Zhong Zhihang was still an earthly sovereign martial artist. He believed that even if the God-locking pearl locked his body, it would not delay him for long. So he had to end the battle quickly and seize the opportunity to finish off his opponent as soon as possible. Otherwise, it would be extremely difficult to continue to seize the opportunity. The shocking saber light was like a meteor streaking across the sky. It was very fast and had already chopped down in an instant. But it had to be admitted that Zhong Zhihang's strength was indeed strong enough. Even if Longao used the God-locking pearl, he could only lock Zhong Zhihang for a short 2 seconds. It was almost impossible to kill Zhong Zhihang in 2 seconds. Ha ha ha, Longao, I have to admit that your locking move is really powerful. But today, I'll show you what a real martial art skill is. Zhong Zhihang had already guessed that it was his opponent who had locked him just now. But even so, Zhong Zhihang still did not take his opponent seriously and used the strongest martial art skill of Golden Sun sect, Wind Shadow Palm. Wind Shadow Palm was one of the most powerful martial art skills of Golden Sun sect and was also Zhong Zhihang's famous consummate skill. In fact, according to Zhong Zhihang's strength, even if he did not use this martial art skill, it was more than enough to kill Longao. But in the end, Zhong Zhihang still used Wind Shadow Palm. Zhong Zhihang's intention was very simple. He wanted to take this opportunity to tell the world how powerful the martial arts skills of Golden Sun sect were. Zhong Zhihang used Wind Shadow Palm with the strength of an earthly emperor. In an instant, the whole space was filled with countless palm shadows and even connected into a palm shadow air shield, trapping Longao inside. Wind Shadow Palm was the strongest martial arts skill of Golden Sun sect. Looking at the palm shadows that filled the sky, everyone was almost certain of one thing, and that was that Longao would definitely die. Not to mention others, even Zhong Zhihang thought that he could kill his opponent in seconds with Wind Shadow Palm. But at this moment, Longao let out a cry of surprise. Then, a shocking saber light chopped out and fiercely split the Wind Shadow air shield. Just as Longao was about to come out, he was once again forced back by the palm shadows. Because of this, Zhong Zhihang's face was already very ugly. He thought that he could kill his opponent in seconds with Wind Shadow Palm, but now? Die! In the space of palm shadows, Longao was constantly attacked by countless palm shadows. No matter how fast he was still injured and scarred. If this continued, the result was completely predictable. Holding the blood-drinking saber, Longao constantly attacked the palm shadows around him. He had to admit that this martial art skill of Golden Sun sect was very powerful. If he didn't have the Dragon Seal space to help him resist half of the attack power, he believed that he would have died by now. Blood-drinking 8 styles. Saber light constantly resisted the palm shadows around him. Gradually, Longao began to be unable to resist. He was sweating profusely, his face was pale, and his body was on the verge of collapse. Longao knew very well that in this situation, he could only hold on for 10 seconds at most. At that time, he would definitely be killed by the palm shadows. Was he going to die like this? Longao was not afraid of death, but the most important purpose of coming to Ghost King sect this time was to take away Aoshue. But now, before he could take away Aoshue, he would be killed by Zhong Zhihang first. It was precisely because of this that Longao had no choice but to use the Dragon God arm. Once this matter was leaked out, the consequences would be unimaginable. Therefore, Longao did not want to use the Dragon God arm unless it was a last resort. Chapter 184. In the end, Longao still used the divine dragon arm. Longqiong didn't appear. Instead, his body merged with his right arm. In an instant, Longao's right arm directly expanded. Break! With a loud roar, Longao suddenly punched out. The divine dragon arm integrated the double strength of Longao and Longqiong. Its power could be imagined. Boom! The earth shook and the mountains shook. The divine dragon arm suddenly smashed out and directly smashed the palm shadow air shield. Even Zhong Zhihang was smashed a few steps back. What on earth happened? Looking at Zhong Zhihang, who was smashed back, everyone was dumbfounded. They looked at Longao in a daze. They didn't know what had happened in the battle. Zhong Zhihang obviously had the upper hand. Why was he smashed back by Longao? Zhong Zhihang was a warrior at the peak of the Earth Sovereign Realm. Moreover, he used the Wind Shadow Palm martial skill of the Golden Sun sect. In the eyes of everyone, the probability of Longao surviving was less than 10%. But now, not to mention others, even Zhong Zhihang himself was stunned. He also had a look of disbelief. He didn't know how his opponent did it. He was smashed back 3 steps. If he hadn't experienced it himself, he wouldn't have believed that he could be smashed back by a warrior in the transformation realm. Longao. Before Zhong Zhihang could speak, Longao waved his hand and said, "You and I have each one move. Continue." Until now, Zhong Zhihang began to become dignified. He didn't continue to underestimate the person in front of him. After all, could a person who could smash him back with 1 punch really be measured by realm? In the distance. Seeing the potential and strength that Zhong Zhihang displayed, Hu Ting and Xie Jun were extremely shocked. The two of them knew very well that if they were to fight, neither of them would be Zhong Zhihang's opponent. Since Longao was able to force Zhong Zhihang back, there was no doubt that once the two of them joined the battle, wouldn't they? Among them, the most shocked was Ghost King Ao Tian. This was because Ao Tian never would have thought that in just a few short months, Longao would grow to such a level. With just the strength of a first metamorphosis fighter, he was able to beat back Zhong Zhihang, who was already at the peak of the emperor rank. Could it be that he had really done something wrong this time? Ao Tian began to mutter in his heart, but in the end, there was only one answer. If he had to choose between Longao and the Golden Sun sect, he would choose the Golden Sun sect without hesitation. He had to admit that Longao's potential and talent surpassed everyone in the 6 great sects. As long as Longao was given enough time to grow, he believed that Longao would definitely be able to rise to the heavens in the future. However, would the Golden Sun sect give Longao the chance to rise to the heavens? The answer was obviously no. The Golden Sun sect wasn't a fool. Seeing Longao's talent and potential today, they would definitely think of ways to deal with Longao. No matter how strong Longao was, he was only a metamorphosis fighter after all. A metamorphosis fighter was still a metamorphosis fighter. This was an unchangeable fact. It was precisely because of this that Ao Tian wouldn't bet on a person who didn't have time to grow. Therefore, in the end, Ao Tian chose the Golden Sun sect and not Longao. On the other hand, the Golden Sun sect was one of the 6 great sects 3 years ago. There were already rumors that the Golden Sun sect was no longer the same as before. Their overall strength, including their foundation, had steadily surpassed the Thunder sect and the Flame sect. They could be considered the leader of the 6 great sects. Although rumors would always be rumors, there was no smoke without fire. The Golden Sun sect didn't come out to defend this matter, which in itself had explained a lot. If the Golden Sun sect, which was likely to be the leader of the 6 great sects, was only a metamorphosis fighter with talent and potential, it was believed that as long as people were not stupid, they would choose the Golden Sun sect instead of Longao. There was nothing wrong with Ao Tian's choice. As the master of the Ghost King sect, before Ao Tian did anything, he had to consider the interests of the sect first. Otherwise, he would not have agreed to let his daughter marry Zhong Zhihang. This had fully shown that compared with the Golden Sun sect, Aoshue was also inferior to Aoshue. Master, Longao's talent and potential are too strong. If we don't get rid of him, he will always be a scourge to us. When Du Hashuan and Du Yunxian saw that Longao was able to defeat Zhong Zhihang, their faces changed, and they also broke out in a cold sweat for the sect. Having been in Jianghu for so long, the two of them had never seen such talent and potential as Longao. There was no doubt that the two of them were very clear that once this person was given time to grow, the result could be imagined. According to the grievances between the Golden Sea sect and Longao, they believed that once Longao grew up, the Golden Sea sect would be the first to be dealt with. How could Guanfeng not know about their worries? Waving his hand, Guanfeng seemed to be not worried at all and said, "We don't need to do anything. Someone will help us get rid of this man. Neither the Ghost King sect nor the Golden Sun sect will let Longao leave. Was what the master said true? Du Hushuan and Du Yunxian still looked worried, staring at the two who were about to fight. Until now, the crowd still had not come to their senses. It was destined that Longao would be defeated, but the result was that each of them won one move, which was the so-called draw. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, no one present would have chosen to believe it. Longao, a warrior who had transformed once, ranked third on the 100 battle ranking list. Zhong Zhihang, a warrior at the peak of the earthly royal realm, ranked third on the Fengyun list. Everyone knew that although the two of them were ranked third, the gap between the 100 battle ranking list and the Fengyun list was too big. They were not at the same level at all. It could be said that anyone from the Fengyun list could easily enter the 100 battle ranking list. Even powerful warriors could sweep the 100 battle ranking list, such as Zhong Zhihang, Hu Teng, and Xie Jun. But now, the third on the Fengyun list had a draw with the third on the 100 battle ranking list. It seemed that no one could accept this fact. If this matter was spread out, not to mention the Golden Sun sect and Zhong Zhihang's face, where would the six sects' face go? Where would the Fengyun list's face go? Longao, I really want to know what kind of martial technique you just used. It can actually break my infinite wind shadow. Zhong Zhihang asked curiously before he made a move, because he was very confident in his martial technique. It could be said that he was full of confidence. Moreover, with his strength, not to mention a warrior in the transformation realm, even a warrior in the human king realm or an earthly emperor realm, few people could resist it. Zhong Zhihang, it's none of your business what martial technique I use. If you want to fight, then fight. If you don't want to fight, then get lost. If you want to fight, then fight. If you don't want to fight, then get lost. Longao was really arrogant to the extreme. Anyway, this was the territory of the Ghost King sect, and Zhong Mo was in charge. Zhong Zhihang's strength was even more obvious. Chapter 185. Zhong Zhihang was not angry at all. Longao, you're really good. Your talent is the strongest I've ever seen, even comparable to those two. But as you said, your birth has limited your development. Longao did not say anything. In his opinion, they were going to fight anyway. In this case, it was useless to say more. Longao, I'll let you have a try now. Without waiting for Zhong Zhihang to finish speaking, Longao's body had already scurried out, choosing to gain the initiative by striking first. Before he arrived, the shocking saber radiance arrived first. Then, Longao's divine dragon arm smashed out fiercely. There was no dragon roar, no dragon breath, but the divine dragon arm was so powerful. Not only that, Longao also activated the God locking pearl at the same time. When the aura spread out, Zhong Zhihang's body was locked again. His face was extremely ugly. He ran all the strength in his body and broke the lock directly. Although he was a warrior at the peak of the Earth Emperor realm, Zhong Zhihang did not dare to be careless, especially when his opponent broke his infinite wind shadow just now. Zhong Zhihang was fully confident that if he used the wind shadow palm with his strength, not to mention a mere transformation realm cultivator, even a sovereign realm cultivator would be instantly killed by him. However, what about his opponent? Not only was he not killed instantly, but he also broke his infinite wind shadow. In the square, everyone held their breath and stared at the two people who were fighting. Originally, the difference in realm had already determined the outcome of the two people, but no one had thought that Longao could counterattack with a transformation realm. It was simply inconceivable. Zhong Mo's face was also ugly. He also did not expect that with his son's strength, he could not kill Longao in the shortest time. Zhong Mo knew very well that even if his son won today's battle, the Golden Sun sect would lose face. The super figure who ranked third on the Fengyun list actually tied with the trash who ranked third on the 100 battle ranking. Even if he was unwilling to admit it, Zhong Mo still knew that this boy was really talented. Because of this, Zhong Mo clenched his fists tightly and made a decision in his heart. Actually, this was the Ghost King sect. Ghost King Ao Tian still didn't have the intention to kill, otherwise Longao would have died long ago. Because of that, Zhong Mo didn't do anything rash. He was giving face to proud heaven. After all, If he tried to kidnap the bride, he would have killed Proud Heaven immediately. Brother Ao, as long as Aoshue can marry Zhihang, the Golden Sun sect will support you unconditionally in the battle of the 6 sects in a month. Hearing this, Ao Tian's eyes suddenly burst out with a golden light. Greed. Ao Tian's heart was filled with greed. After all, the temptation of the sovereign golden pill was too great. Brother Zhong, is what you said true? If I go against my words, may I be struck by lightning. Ao Tian didn't doubt Zhong Mo's words, because at their cultivation level and status, there was no need for them to lie. Brother Zhong, I can promise you now that no matter when, Aoshue and Zhihang will get married. However, I will rely on you in the battle of the 6 sects in a month. Under the temptation of the sovereign golden pill, Ao Tian, who had been hesitating, finally made up his mind. Not only would he agree to Aoshue and Zhong Zhihang's wedding, but he had also secretly decided that no matter what happened, he would get rid of this boy. Brother Ao, don't worry. In the battle of the 6 sects in a month, as long as our sects work together, I would like to see who can snatch the sovereign golden pill from our hands. What if those 2 people appear? Although the 6 sects didn't say it explicitly, they had a tacit understanding that the older generation wouldn't participate in the battle of the 6 sects in a month. In other words, the people competing for the sovereign golden pill were the younger disciples of the 6 sects. Strictly speaking, they should be people on the Fengyun list. The disciples of the 6 sects occupied 80% of the Fengyun list, and only 20% was occupied by the secular world, which was the 100 battle ranking. On the Fengyun list, there were 2 strongest people, the first and second on the Fengyun list. Their strength was far beyond Zhong Zhihang's, which was what Ao Tian was most worried about. Speaking of the 2 people, Zhong Mo's face also became solemn. The 6 sects would definitely send their strongest disciples to the Fengyun list. If the Thunder Breeze sect and the Blazing sect sent these 2 people, wouldn't it be troublesome? That's right, the first and second on the Fengyun list were from the Sound of Thunder sect and the Blazing sect respectively. This was the real reason why the Sound of Thunder sect and the Blazing sect were competing for supremacy. Ao Tian thought for a while and said, according to the rumors, these 2 people have been in seclusion for a long time. For them, as long as they don't take the initiative to come out, I believe the Sound of Thunder sect and the Blazing sect won't act recklessly. Yes, as long as those 2 people don't take action, with our combined strength, we will definitely be able to obtain the sovereign golden pill smoothly. In an instant, Zhong Mo and Ao Tian had reached a consensus. Just as the 2 of them were talking, Longao and Zhong Zhihang had already started their battle. However, the gap between their realms was indeed difficult to make up for with other things. Longao was restrained in every way. If it wasn't for the dragon seal space helping him to block most of the power, Longao would have already fallen at this moment. A martial artist at the peak of the Earth Sovereign realm. Even so, Longao's strength had deeply shocked everyone. A metamorphosis martial artist was able to shake a martial artist at the peak of the Earth Sovereign realm. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, no one would have believed it. The power of the divine dragon arm combined with the god-locking pearl was no small matter. In addition to the dragon seal space's resistance, Longao really resisted Zhong Zhihang's attack. However, Longao was still very clear that if this continued, he would be the one to be defeated in the end. He might even lose his life. In order to end the battle quickly and regain the face that he had just lost, Zhong Zhihang's attack was stronger than the previous one. The attack of a martial artist at the peak of the Earth Sovereign realm was really terrifying. Just the pressure of the aura alone wasn't something that Longao could withstand. Longao's strength could be considered to have completely conquered everyone. However, everyone was still very clear that Longao would definitely lose in the battle with Zhong Zhihang. He wouldn't even be able to last 10 moves. Even so, everyone was still incomparably impressed by Longao. To be able to fight against a martial artist at the peak of the Earth Sovereign realm for so long, it could be said that no one had ever done it before. Peng! Longao was directly sent flying by Zhong Zhihang's palm. He spat out a mouthful of blood. Longao endured his shaky body and forcibly held on. Longao was defeated. Everyone was very clear that Longao was still defeated in this battle. After this battle, everyone's attitude towards Longao had changed. Longao, you've lost, but I'll still give you a chance. Kneel down and break your own arms, then you can leave this place. Otherwise, I'll split you into 5 pieces and chop you into pieces. Do you believe me or not? Looking at Zhong Zhihang's cold face, everyone couldn't help but shudder. It was simply too ruthless. Chapter 186. Kneel down. Break your arms. Zhong Zhihang was ruthless enough. If Longao really did that, not only would he lose face, but he would also lose his arms. At the very least, even if Longao did not agree, he had an excuse to kill Longao directly. Therefore, no matter what, it was impossible for Longao to leave Ghost King sect in one piece. Zhong Zhihang, I haven't lost yet. With white hair and black clothes, Longao stood firmly and stared at Zhong Zhihang in front of him. Until now, he had not chosen to give up. This was Longao. No matter what happened, no matter when, he would not choose to give up. Seeing that Longao still did not choose to give up, everyone was a little moved. After all, everyone knew very well that if Longao continued to fight, he would definitely die. Didn't Longao know that? He was willing to sacrifice his life for the one he loved. This alone showed that Longao loved Aoshue more than Zhong Zhihang. Of course, Ao Tian also knew that Longao was stronger than Zhong Zhihang, but he still would not change his decision. First, the Golden Sun sect was behind Zhong Zhihang. Second, the temptation of the sovereign golden pill was so great that he could not choose to help Longao. As for Zhong Mo, his face was extremely gloomy. This battle had been delayed for too long. In other words, the longer this battle was delayed, the more the Golden Sun sect would lose face. Zhihang, end it quickly. Don't disgrace the sect. Nodding, Zhong Zhihang did not want to delay any longer. Without saying anything more, he rushed out directly. However, Zhong Zhihang left quickly and came back even faster. Zhong Zhihang came back not because of Longao's attack, but because Longao suddenly took out 2 drops of blood. He could clearly sense the momentum of the 2 drops of blood. Kailin blood and dragon blood. Kailin? Dragon? Everyone was incomparably shocked because everyone clearly knew what the Chilean's blood and the giant dragon's blood meant. As everyone knew, regardless of whether it was the Chilean clan or the Colossal Dragon clan, they were one of the most powerful clans in the world. It was precisely because of this that no one could understand why Longao would suddenly take out 2 drops of blood. Moreover, it was a drop of Colossal Dragon blood and a drop of Chilean blood. Of the 2 drops of blood in Longao's hands, the Chilean blood came from the fire Chilean, while the giant dragon blood came from Long Qiong. Longao, hand over the Chilean blood and the dragon blood. With a cold snort, Longao directly chose to ignore the other party. Things had already come to this point. Longao was very clear in his heart that if he did not use the 9 needles to seal the spirit, he would not be Zhong Zhihang's opponent at all. If he used the ordinary 9 needles to seal the spirit, he would also not be able to fight Zhong Zhihang. It was precisely because of this that Longao gathered the blood of the fire Chilean and Long Qiong and prepared to stake everything on this one throw. According to Long Fu, as long as he used the Chilean's blood and the giant dragon's blood, the 9 needles to seal the spirit could not only increase his strength to a greater extent, but also reduce the backlash to a minimum. However, Long Fu's meaning was very simple. If he used the Chilean's blood and the giant dragon's blood twice, 3 or 4 times, it would be counterproductive. Taking out the 9 god-sealing needles from his bosom, without the slightest hesitation, Longao directly swallowed the 2 drops of blood, the Chilean's blood and the giant dragon's blood. Whether it was the Long Qiong or the fire Chilean, they were members of the most powerful clans in the world. As soon as he swallowed, Longao felt 2 completely different and terrifying forces instantly flowing through his body. He let out a painful cry. Not only did Longao not stop, but he also directly pierced the 9 god-sealing needles into 9 different acupuncture points on his body. What is Longao doing? Seeing Longao's actions, everyone was somewhat confused. They did not know what he was doing. Aoshue cried out in pain and fainted. Ao Tian sighed deeply and gently placed Aoshue on a chair. As he turned around, He muttered to himself, "Aoshua, father has let you down." They did not know what was going on. Could it be that Longao wanted to commit suicide? Suddenly, a strong aura erupted from Longao's body. From the aura of a first metamorphosis cultivator, it advanced triumphantly all the way to the aura of a second metamorphosis cultivator, then a third metamorphosis cultivator. What exactly happened? Everyone looked at Longao in a daze. They did not know what kind of secret technique Longao used to increase his aura instantly. The 9 god sealing needles could increase a cultivator's strength and aura, but it could not increase one's cultivation realm. In other words, although Longao used the 9 god sealing needles to increase his strength to the so-called peak sovereign personage, his true cultivation realm did not break through to the sovereign personage realm. Zhong Mo's expression was extremely unsightly. He said, "Brother Ao, what do you think is going on?" Ao Tian stared at Longao, especially when he felt the strong aura coming from Longao. He said gravely, "If I'm not wrong, the reason why Longao was able to increase his strength so quickly should be because he used the Chilean's blood and the colossal dragon's blood to forcefully increase his strength. There is only one consequence for doing so. Longao will suffer a backlash later." Ao Tian was very moved that Longao used a secret technique to forcefully increase his strength. As the master of the Ghost King sect, he naturally knew the consequences of doing so. If he was not careful, he would be consigned to eternal damnation. Longao could fight the world for his daughter. Could Zhong Zhihang do the same? The answer was without a doubt that Zhong Zhihang could not do so. However, when Ao Tian thought about the Golden Sun sect and the Prime Golden Core, he still did not change his mind. He said gravely, "Brother Zhong, this fellow's strength has only increased to peak sovereign personage. There is still a huge gap between him and Zhihang." Zhong Mo nodded. He was very confident in his son's strength. He smiled, his meaning very clear. Zhong Zhihang's expression changed slightly. At this moment, Longao's strength and aura kept increasing. Zhong Zhihang, who was originally full of confidence, started to waver. The 9 divine needles stimulated the Chilean's blood and the colossal dragon's blood, causing Longao's strength to increase continuously. Under normal circumstances, the 9 divine needles could increase his strength to the 3rd metamorphosis. However, with the Chilean's blood and the colossal dragon's blood, Longao's strength rose to peak sovereign personage. Peak sovereign personage was still 1 level away from Zhong Zhihang's peak earthly monarch cultivation. Longao suddenly opened his eyes. He held the blood-sucking berserk saber, and his white hair and black clothes fluttered. He looked like a god of war descending. "I am going to take Aoshua away. I will kill anyone who dares to stop me." Right now, Longao gave off an aura that said, "I am going to take Aoshua away. I will kill anyone who dares to stop me." Longao's words spread out in the surroundings. Everyone's expressions changed. Longao was going to fight the world for his woman. Chapter 187. Fighting for his lover. Zhong Zhihang, make your move. At this moment, strong confidence erupted from Longao's body. It was like he did not care about his opponent at all. "Ha ha ha. With just you." Seeing Longao brimming with confidence, Zhong Zhihang suddenly laughed maniacally. Mockery and contempt were written all over his face. Although Zhong Zhihang was astonished by the other party's rapid increase in strength, a peak sovereign personage was still a peak sovereign personage, 1 step away from becoming an earthly monarch. Longao did not continue speaking nonsense. He quickly charged forward. Before he arrived, his horrifying aura already pressed down. The auras released by the 2 of them collided fiercely, intertwining with each other and fighting to the death. Zhong Zhihang executed the soul-subduing seal and the underworld burning seal at the same time. Just at this moment, Longao suddenly stopped and formed different hand seals with his hands. This was the destruction seal's 3rd seal, the heaven-burying seal. The destruction seal had a total of 18 moves. Long Fu had only taught Longao the first 4 moves. They were the first move, the soul-subduing seal, the second move, the underworld burning seal, the third move, the heaven-burying seal, and the fourth move, the doomsday seal. With the help of the 9 divine sealing needles, Longao successfully broke through to peak sovereign personage. He could barely execute the third seal. He had to admit that the Doomsday Seal was much stronger than the other two seals. God-locking Pearl, Longao's strength increased, causing the power of the God-locking Pearl to also become stronger. When the God-locking Pearl and the Heaven-burying Seal worked together, their might was not as simple as 1 + 1. Just as Zhong Zhihang was confident that he could instantly kill his opponent, he suddenly discovered a strange energy invading his body and starting to corrode and burn his soul. Not only that, but a powerful force began to hit his mind directly, and he was locked down again. Under normal circumstances, Zhong Zhihang would only be locked down for 3 seconds at most. If he resisted with all his strength, he would not even be locked down for 2 seconds. However, the current situation was completely different. With the destruction seal corroding his soul and locking down his body, Zhong Zhihang could not help getting distracted while multitasking. Thus, how could Longao let go of such a rare opportunity? When he used the wild devouring saber in his hand, this was the first time he used a soul attack. Ever since he learned about soul attacks, Longao had sped up his cultivation of soul attacks. He had also been constantly absorbing soul energy to strengthen his own soul. According to Long Fu, soul attack was one of the strongest martial skills, and it could be considered a soul martial skill. This kind of spirit martial technique had long been lost in the sky martial continent. In order to have a 100% chance of defeating Zhong Zhihang, Longao used a soul attack for the first time. Soul attacks were also invisible attacks. Outsiders could not see them at all. Not even Zhong Zhihang could sense them. This was one of the most powerful aspects of soul attacks. In truth, Longao using a soul attack was an extremely dangerous thing to do. That was because Zhong Zhihang's realm and strength were much higher than his. Even his soul was much stronger than his. If his soul attack failed, he would suffer a backlash. The consequences would be unimaginable. If it was light, he would become an idiot. If it was heavy, he would directly die. Thus, Longao was risking his life by using a soul attack. Ah! Zhong Zhihang let out a miserable cry and collapsed to the ground. Longao didn't seem to plan on letting Zhong Zhihang off. He shot forward and viciously slashed his saber at Zhong Zhihang without hesitation. You dare! Zhong Mo didn't want to keep waiting. He knew that if he kept waiting, there would only be one result: his son would be mercilessly killed. Zhong Mo naturally knew that if he did this, he would be ridiculed. But for his son, so what if he lost face? It was precisely because of that Zhong Mo finally attacked. His powerful aura directly dispersed the saber light. Furthermore, he sent out a palm, scaring Longao into retreating 10 steps before barely managing to stabilize himself. Under normal circumstances, using the 9 divine sealing needles would only last for 10 minutes. But this situation was different. It went without saying that the Chilean blood and dragon blood were truly powerful. According to his calculations, 2 drops of blood would last an hour. That was more than enough time for Longao. Zhong Mo, you really are shameless. I had a fair fight with Zhong Zhihang, but you actually interfered. Zhong Zhihang was defeated. Seeing Zhong Mo attack, Zhong Zhihang barely sobered up. His body was on the verge of collapsing. Everyone was shocked. Until now, no one could believe that Zhong Zhihang was defeated and almost killed by Longao. Zhong Zhihang was a warrior at the peak of the Earth Sovereign Realm and ranked 3rd on the Fengyun list. He could be said to be a powerful figure among the 6 major sects. But he was defeated. Longao, you said it was a fair fight, but you used an unorthodox method to increase your strength. Isn't this a violation of the rules? Zhong Mo felt that it was a bit far-fetched to say this. But for his own face, for his son's face, and for the sect's face, he had to say it. Zhong Mo, no matter what, I have defeated Zhong Zhihang. So I will take Aoshua away. Ha ha ha, Longao, even if you have defeated my son, what can you do? You still can't take Aoshua away. Hearing this, Longao's face instantly darkened. He stared coldly at the father and son of the Zhong family in front of him. Shameless. He had seen shameless people before, but he had never seen such shameless people. They were shameless to the extreme. Zhong Mo had tacitly admitted that Longao had defeated his son. In an instant, there was an uproar. Everyone knew clearly what it meant for Longao to defeat Zhong Zhihang. That was to say, from now on, Longao not only ranked third on the 100 battle ranking, but also replaced Zhong Zhihang's ranking as the third on the Fengyun list. He ranked third on both lists. As long as Longao wanted to, he could rank first on the 100 battle ranking at any time. Even if he was unwilling to admit it, as a warrior in front of tens of thousands of people, Zhong Zhihang did not go back on his words. He endured the bursts of pain in his body and said weakly, "Longao, I lost, but I didn't promise you that as long as you defeat me, you can take Aoshue away. So you can leave, but only alone." Looking at the father and son of the Zhong family who were sneering, Longao's anger had reached the limit. He erupted like a volcano and rolled away. With a roar, Longao did not continue to talk nonsense. With the blood-drinking broadsword in his hand, he fiercely shot toward the father of the Zhong family. Before he arrived, his monstrous anger had already overwhelmed him. In front of Zhong Mo, Longao actually made the first move. It should be known that Zhong Zhihang and Zhong Mo were almost at two different levels. They could not be mentioned in the same breath. Longao could defeat Zhong Zhihang, but it did not mean that he could defeat Zhong Mo. Everyone thought that Longao was mad with anger. Otherwise, he would not be so reckless. Chapter 188. How dare you? Go back. Master Zhong, as a venerable, you're going too far by dealing with a junior. Xie Jun suddenly appeared in front of Longao, stopped him and said with a sneer. Seeing Xie Jun, Longao seemed a little surprised. After all, the Sound of Thunder sect and the Golden Sun sect had always minded their own business. This time, Xie Jun stood up for him. Wouldn't he offend the Golden Sun sect? Seeing his son stand up for Longao, Xie Fang was a little surprised, but he didn't say anything. Xie Jun, Longao publicly disrupted the wedding. Just for this, I can directly kill him. Ha ha ha, disrupt the wedding? Longao likes Aoshue, and Aoshue likes Longao. It's a matter of course. I think Zhong Zhihang is shameless and insisted on interfering. His face was gloomy and terrible, and he clenched his fists tightly. If it weren't for the Sound of Thunder sect behind Zhong Zhihang, Zhong Mo might have already taken action. It was rumored that the Golden Sun sect's strength had surpassed the Sound of Thunder sect and the Fiery sect and had become the leader of the 6 sects. However, only Zhong Mo knew best that the Golden Sun sect's current strength was far from being a match for the Fiery sect and the Sound of Thunder sect. Brother Xie, what do you think? Zhong Mo didn't want to continue talking nonsense with Xie Jun, so he could only point the finger at Xie Fang, hoping that the Sound of Thunder sect could come forward and recall Xie Jun. However, Xie Fang just smiled and said, Xie Jun is helping a friend. As a friend, I won't ask too much. Also, Brother Zhong, I think you've done something wrong. We've agreed before that Zhihang and Longao would have a fair fight, but you broke the rules. Xie Fang didn't continue, but the meaning of his words was very clear. Zhong Mo's behavior had angered the public. Under normal circumstances, a fair fight between warriors was not allowed to be disrupted. What's more, the 6 sects usually didn't get along well. The Sound of Thunder sect couldn't wait to watch the Golden Sun sect make a fool of themselves. After all, this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Master Zhong Zhihang has already lost. According to the spirit of a warrior, Aoshue should be taken away by Longao. What do you think? Zhong Mo was rendered speechless. Helpless, he could only look at proud heaven, hoping that the Ghost King would step in and resolve this matter. After all, Aoshue was proud heaven's daughter. If the Ghost King Ao Tian were to speak, no one would be dissatisfied. The Ghost King Ao Tian's face was not looking too good, because he never thought that Longao would actually be able to defeat Zhong Zhihang. What was even more difficult was that Zhong Mo also made a move at the same time. Did he really agree to let Aoshue leave? Golden Sun sect, Sovereign Golden Core. When he thought of the Sovereign Golden Pellet, Ao Tian's originally wavering decision was once again set in stone. This was because he knew better than anyone what the sovereign golden pellet meant to him. A venerable was only one step away from becoming a supreme. Longao, you should leave. I've already said that Aoshue has already been betrothed to Jihang. From now on, you're not allowed to take a single step into my Ghost King sect. Otherwise, I'll kill you without mercy. As for Ao Tian, the Ghost King's intention, no one was a fool. Of course, they could guess most of it. If there were no surprises, the Ghost King Ao Tian and Zhong Mo must have reached some kind of agreement. Otherwise, Ao Tian wouldn't have rejected Longao. Without the slightest bit of surprise, Longao suddenly laughed. Longao, what are you laughing at? What am I laughing at? I'm laughing at Aoshue for having a father like you. What a tragedy. Zhong Mo, Zhong Zhihang, I, Longao, swear to the heavens that I will destroy your Golden Sun sect in the future. Otherwise, I'll be struck by lightning and die a horrible death. As he spoke, Longao forced out a drop of blood essence from his body, forming a blood oath. A blood oath was the most terrifying oath in the world. Once a blood oath was formed, there were only two results. Either the blood oath was not fulfilled, or the blood oath would backfire. No one had expected Longao to make a blood oath. They all looked at Zhong Mo and his son, wondering how the Golden Sun sect would react. There was no doubt that Zhong Mo and Zhong Zhihang's faces were full of contempt and contempt. They didn't take each other seriously at all. A little transformation warrior who had used some kind of secret technique to reach the human king realm dared to boast so shamelessly. He was really reckless. He even wanted to destroy the Golden Sun sect. Longao, I admire your courage very much, but as a person, you must have self-awareness, with just you. Brother Long, don't be reckless. This was the first time Xia Jun called Longao Brother Long. Although it didn't seem like anything to outsiders, those who knew Xia Jun would know that the change in address meant that Xia Jun had acknowledged Longao as a true friend. Xia Jun had very few friends in his life. Longao's performance this time had deeply impressed Xia Jun. In Xia Jun's opinion, Longao's talent was stronger than his, even comparable to those two. If he was born in a better family, then Longao's achievements would definitely not be what they were now. In fact, Xia Jun had already wanted to rope in Longao. Otherwise, he wouldn't have offended the Golden Sun sect. Even if the Golden Sun sect was not as strong as the Sound of Thunder sect, once they fell out, it wouldn't be good for anyone. Fortunately, his father didn't say anything. In fact, Xia Jun also knew that his father also wanted to rope in Longao. Otherwise, he wouldn't have asked him to come forward. Brother Long, Zhong Mo is a venerable. With your current strength, you can't even resist one move from him. Don't be reckless. Where there is life, there is hope. No one knew what method Xia Jun used, but outsiders couldn't hear him at all. Only Longao could hear him. A venerable? What was the strength of a venerable? Longao was very confused about Zhong Mo's realm, because in his opinion, warriors were divided into three levels: the acquired realm, the innate realm, and the transformation realm. Was Zhong Mo an expert above the Dao ancestor? It was not until this moment that Longao realized that he was a frog at the bottom of the well. He thought that the Dao ancestor was already standing at the peak of martial arts. Now it seemed that there were more powerful existences above the Dao ancestor. It was also because of this matter that Longao was even more eager to improve his strength. This was because if he wanted to survive in this continent where strength was respected, and to protect his family, he had to improve his strength first. Without a strong enough fist, everything was nonsense. Strength, in the end, everything depended on strength. With great strength, you could be the boss and run amok. If you didn't have strength, you could only stand there and be beaten. You had to shut up obediently. This was the reality, this was the law of survival. Longao, why don't I give you a chance? If you can take 3 moves from me, I promise you that I won't interfere in this matter. How about it? Despicable and shameless. As everyone knew, Zhong Mo was a genuine venerable. His strength was far beyond that of his son, Zhong Zhihang. Even if Longao's strength had improved, it was impossible for him to take 3 moves from Zhong Mo. Chapter 189. You don't dare. Zhong Mo sneered with disdain and contempt written all over his face. At this moment, none of the tens of thousands of people in the square despised Longao. Instead, they looked down on the father and son of the Zhong family. However, the father and son of the Zhong family ignored the contempt of everyone around them. Zhong Zhihang said with a smile, "Longao, don't think that you're invincible just because you used unorthodox methods to defeat me. I can tell you clearly that you're not even as good as a fart." "Yes, I'm not even as good as a fart. You're just a fart." Hearing Longao's words, everyone laughed without the slightest bit of restraint. Ao Tian coldly glanced at them. Everyone was so scared that they all shut their mouths. In an instant, it became absolutely silent. Ahem, ahem. At this time, Xia Fang suddenly stood up and said with a smile, "Brother Ao, I wonder if I can say something fair." Xia Fang, the master of the Sound of Thunder sect, had reached the peak of the venerable realm, far surpassing Ao Tian the Ghost King and Zhong Mo. Moreover, the strength and foundation of the Sound of Thunder sect were there. Even Ao Tian did not dare to provoke Xia Fang casually. "Brother Xia, you're too annoying. If you have anything to say, just say it." "Well, Brother Ao, we all see Longao's true feelings for Aoshue. I want to ask if the Ghost King sect can give Longao a chance. A fair chance." Hearing this, Zhong Mo and Zhong Zhihang's faces instantly darkened to the extreme. They were as ugly as they could be. Zhong Zhihang and Zhong Mo never expected that Xia Fang would suddenly stand up for Longao. This matter instantly became a little tricky. After all, the Sound of Thunder sect was not ordinary. After lowering his head and thinking for a moment, Ao Tian suddenly nodded. This was not good. Although Zhong Mo was extremely angry, there was nothing he could do. After all, Xia Fang had stepped forward and Ao Tian had agreed. If he stepped forward, it would only escalate the battle and eventually evolve into a battle between the Golden Sun sect and the Thunder War. Zhong Mo was not a fool. If the Gold Sun sect really fought with the Sound of Thunder sect, the Gold Sun sect would definitely not gain the slightest advantage. Zhong Mo would never do something that would cause him to lose money. What was more, as the master of the Gold Sun sect, no matter what decision he made, the first thing he thought of was the interests of the sect. "Brother Ao, Longao has just defeated Zhong Zhihang. It can be said that he has obtained an opportunity." Waving his hand, Proud Heaven said, "All right, I'll give Longao a chance. Longao, 3 trials. As long as you can pass the 3 trials, I will agree to let you take Aoshue away. What do you think?" Sure, Longao agreed without even thinking about it. He knew very well that this was his only chance. After all, Zhong Mo was so powerful that it was impossible for him to take away Aoshue. 3 tests. Everyone began to look forward to it. They didn't know what the Ghost King's 3 trials were, but everyone knew that the Ghost King's 3 trials were definitely not simple. In the first round, you have to take 3 of Brother Zhong's moves. Poochie. Hearing the Ghost King's first trial, everyone was completely stunned. Not to mention the second and third trials. Could Longao pass the first trial alone? Zhong Mo, the sect leader of the Golden Sun sect, had the strength of a venerable. Not to mention Longao, even if a Dao ancestor was here, he might not be able to take 3 moves from Zhong Mo. Thinking about it, everyone already understood that the Spirit King Ao Tian was doing this just to let Longao know the difficulties and retreat. Brother Long waving his hand, Longao stopped Xia Jun. His expression was firm as he nodded and agreed, "I agree. Tell me everything about the next 2 trials. No matter what, I will take away Aoshue." Longao's persistence, Longao's unwillingness to admit defeat, and Longao's infatuation deeply moved someone. Because if it were someone else, would they be able to do this? In the second trial, you have to kill the sky-devouring python. Hearing the Ghost King say the second day, everyone was shocked to the extreme. Everyone knew that there was a sky-devouring python in the back mountain of the Ghost King sect. Although it only had the strength of an earthly sovereign, with the power of the valley, even a venerable could not do anything to it. Because of this, the valley of the Ghost King sect was listed as a forbidden area. Under normal circumstances, the disciples of the sect were not allowed to enter, otherwise they would be severely punished. Without giving Longao a chance to think, Ao Tian continued, if you can successfully pass the first 2 trials, you will represent the Ghost King sect in the Battle of the 6 Sects in a month's time and help me get the Sovereign Golden Pill. At that time, you can take away Ao Shue. It's up to you whether you agree or not. Brother Ao. After giving a look, Zhongmo finally understood Ao Tian's meaning through spiritual sense transmission. He smiled and did not say anything else. The 3 trials mentioned by Ao Tian were extremely difficult. Each trial was full of danger. If one relaxed even a little bit, they would definitely die. But Longao did not even think about it and directly agreed, okay, I agree. I agree. Everyone immediately applauded for Longao after he agreed to these 3 challenges. Let's not talk about whether Longao would be able to successfully pass the challenge. Just this courage alone was worthy of admiration. I'll give you 10 minutes to rest. Longao was not polite at all. Although he had forcibly increased his strength with the help of the 9 needles of divine sealing and 2 drops of blood, the battle with Zhong Zhihang just now had consumed too much. If he did not take a little rest, it would be difficult for him to take the 3 moves of Zhong Mo. An hour. With the power of the Kylin blood and the giant dragon blood, the 9 needles of divine sealing could last for an hour, so there was more than enough time. Brother Xia, thank you. With these simple words, Longao's meaning was very clear. It was also at this time that Longao regarded Xia Jun as his good friend. No matter what purpose Xia Jun had for helping him, he was willing to be the enemy of the Golden Sun sect for him. This was worth making friends with. Brother Long, your courage is worthy of my admiration, but I still say the same thing. Don't be too reckless in everything. Also, wait for Zhong Mo's 3 moves. You have to be careful because Zhong Mo is in the Venerable Realm. The Venerable Realm? Longao was so curious that he did not even have time to cultivate. He directly asked, Brother Xia, I want to ask, what is the Venerable Realm? Is there a higher existence above the Tao ancestor? Xia Jun did not feel contempt or ridicule for Longao's ignorance and curiosity because no one in the secular world knew about the Venerable Realm. Even the ordinary disciples of the 6 major sects did not know about it. Xia Jun nodded and said, martial artists go from the acquired realm to the innate realm, then to the transformation realm, and above that is the void realm. As for the void realm, it is divided into 8 realms, known as the void 8 realms. The void 8 realms. Sure enough, Longao finally knew that it turned out that above the transformation realm, there was still the void 8 realms. Chapter 190. Brother Long, the 8 realms of nothingness are divided into disaster, honorable, sovereign, earth venerable, heavenly venerable, great venerable, world king, and world emperor. Disaster, honorable, sovereign, earth venerable, heavenly venerable, great venerable, world king, and world emperor. Zhong Mo was only a honorable. He was at the bottom of the 8 realms of nothingness, but his strength was so terrifying. Longao found it hard to imagine how powerful a martial artist above the sovereign of nothingness would be. As if he could see the shock in Longao's heart, Xia Jun said, the 6 major sects all have honorable existences, but martial artists above the earth venerable level usually don't appear. As if he thought of something, Xia Jun said, the 3rd test that the Ghost King mentioned is for you to participate in the battle of the 6 sects in a month to fight for the sovereign golden pill. It's a golden pill condensed after the death of a sovereign. Oh, what's going on? Longao was very curious about what the sovereign golden pill was. Brother Long, you don't know. The sovereign golden pill is a golden pill condensed from all the energy of a sovereign after his death. As long as you can obtain it, you can inherit all the energy of a sovereign. At that time, it will be easier to break through to the sovereign realm. Looking around, Xia Jun said, the 6 major sects, including my father, all want this sovereign golden pill. Longao was very surprised. He didn't expect the sovereign golden pill to be so valuable. 10 minutes passed in the blink of an eye. Longao stood up again and looked at Zhong Mo in front of him. His face was indifferent, as if he wasn't worried at all. Zhong Zhihang's soul was severely injured. It would be very difficult for him to recover in a short period of time. Aoshue, who had already woken up, came in front of Longao and said gently, "When you live, I live. When you die, I die. I will never leave you. I will follow you for all eternity." These 4 simple sentences showed Aoshue's attitude. Aoshue came to Ghost King Ao Tien's side and said without any complaints, "Whether Longao lives or dies, I am his woman. After this, I, Aoshue, am no longer a member of Ghost King sect." "Then you don't want your father?" "No. I don't want it anymore." Hearing this, the Ghost King Ao Tien's body suddenly trembled. Perhaps it was out of guilt, but Ao Tien did not continue speaking. For the sovereign golden pill, sacrificing a daughter was unavoidable. "Longao, I don't even need 3 moves. You can't even block 1 move. Do you believe me? Trust my ass. You." Longao didn't give Zhongmo a chance to continue. He couldn't control himself. He never scolded people, but at this moment, he really wanted to. He had to. "Zhongmo, as a venerable and the master of the Gold Sun sect, it's indeed very shameless of you to do this. Let me give you a piece of advice. Please remember it." Everyone was looking forward to it because they really wanted to hear what Longao would say to Zhongmo. "Zhongmo, you've lacked calcium since you were young. When you grew up, you lacked love. Your grandmother didn't dote on you and your uncle didn't love you. His left cheek was asking for a slap, and his right cheek was asking for a kick. When a donkey sees a donkey, it kicks a donkey. When a pig sees a pig, it tramples on it. He was born in the year of the cucumber and deserved a beating. He was born in the year of the walnut and deserved a beating." Disdain was written all over his face as he continued to scold, "You're so cheap. I'm very puzzled. I taught you to practice the saber, and you practiced the sword. You didn't practice the golden sword, and you practiced the silver sword. You didn't want to be a sword immortal, and you didn't want to be a sword god. You just had to shamelessly cry and shout that you wanted to be a sword man. Really, why do you have to do this?" Back in the Scarlet Fire town, Longao was not in a hurry to return to the family after cultivating in the Scarlet Fire mountain. Instead, he would sit in a small tea house and listen to the hooligans scolding people. The words that he just scolded were what he heard. As the master of the Gold Sun sect, when had Zhongmo suffered such humiliation? "Longao, cut the crap. Take my move. Wait. Are you afraid?" "Ghost King, I want to ask, if I take 3 moves from Zhongmo, can I stand still or can I fight back?" Longao's words were like a few slaps on Ghost King Ao Tien and Zhongmo's faces. Because regardless of whether Longao fought back or not, the 2 of them were shameless. After all, bullying the weak was inevitable. "You can fight back." Nodding, Longao sneered and said, "Come." Before he finished speaking, Zhongmo's body had already moved. Palm shadows danced in the air, filling the sky with palm shadows. How shameless. Xia Jun's voice was very loud. Everyone in the square could hear it. At the same time, everyone looked down on the master of the Gold Sun sect. Zhongmo was not ready yet, but he had already attacked. It could be considered a sneak attack. He did not dare to be the slightest bit careless. Although he did not understand the nothingness realm, Longao was very clear that a venerable must be very powerful. He gathered all the strength in his body, and with Long Fu's help, Longao's strength and the power of the dragon seal space, a layer of invisible air shield was directly arranged around Longao's body. Long Fu was incomparably mysterious, and the dragon seal space was incomparably powerful. Even if Long Fu could not directly help, the air shield that he arranged for Longao was enough to withstand Zhongmo's attack. It was precisely because of this that Ao Long didn't fight back or even resist the first move. He just stood there quietly. Seeing this situation, everyone exclaimed. If it wasn't for Ao Tien holding her back, they believed that Ao Shui would have already rushed over. Xia Jun's expression was also very ugly. He did not know what was wrong with Longao. Even if he knew that he was no match for Zhongmo, he could not just sit there and wait for death to come. The difference in strength between Zhongmo and Longao was very large. Even if Zhongmo fought back, he might not be able to withstand it. Moreover, he was just standing there. He would definitely die. Under everyone's shocked gazes, Zhongmo's palm fiercely landed on Longao's chest. In fact, Zhongmo was also very surprised. He did not know why Longao did not dodge. Was he really that confident? Longao's body flew back, but the moment he flew back, Longao used a soul attack. Moreover, he also used the soul suppressing seal, underworld burning seal, and heaven burying seal at the same time. Longao's intention was very simple. With Long Fu's help, he believed that it would not be difficult to withstand this attack. Moreover, he seized the opportunity when his opponent underestimated him to use a soul attack, hoping to injure his opponent. Soul attack. If it was under normal circumstances, Longao knew very well that it was impossible for him to attack his opponent's soul. After all, the difference in strength between them was too great. A venerable was above a Dao ancestor. Not to mention a venerable, even a Dao ancestor, Longao did not dare to use a soul attack easily. However, Longao knew that a soul attack was his only chance. 3 consecutive moves. Even if he could withstand the first move, could he withstand the second and third move? It was because of this that Longao staked everything. Even if he stood still, he still had to fight. Chapter 191. Zhongmo grunted. He did not care about Longao's life and death. He stood still on the spot. What happened to Zhongmo? Everyone was curious as they looked at the motionless Zhongmo. However, no one dared to approach him. Under Zhongmo's disdain, the soul attack successfully eroded his soul. However, Longao's strength was still too low. If he could break through to the nothingness realm, then this attack alone would be enough to take Zhongmo's life. However, the soul was the most important thing to a warrior. Not to mention the destruction of one's soul, even a serious injury to one's soul would be a huge blow to a warrior. With Longao's strength, the soul attack could not kill Zhongmo. Even so, Zhongmo did not dare to be careless. He immediately began to repair his soul. Longao, who was sent flying, stopped abruptly. Fortunately, he had Long Fu's help. Otherwise, he would have been dead by now. Longao withstood it. It was as if he was used to it. After all, in the eyes of ordinary warriors, the difference in strength between Zhongmo and Zhong Zhihang was insignificant. However, Ao Tian and the others were well aware of Longmo's strength. Could a mere metamorphosis realm cultivator, even a sovereign personage, withstand the powerful strike of a venerate? Longao. Looking at the arrogant youth not far away, Ghost King Ao Tian and the others began to see Longao in a new light. They realized that other than his great talent, Longao had many secrets. Zhongmo, there are still 2 more moves. Come at me together. It had to be said that Longao was really arrogant. However, things had already progressed to this stage. Everyone believed that Longao had the right to be arrogant. Zhongmo did not answer. He was still repairing his soul. A serious injury to the soul was not a small matter. If he was not careful, it would affect his future cultivation. Until now, Zhongmo still could not believe that his opponent could attack his soul. Opening his eyes, Zhongmo's heart was filled with rage, but there was nothing he could do. With his soul severely injured, he could not immediately attack. Otherwise, it would affect the recovery of his soul. In other words, he was already powerless in the next 2 moves. Longao, seeing that you're still a character, I'll let you off. You've finished 3 moves. You can start the second trial. 3 moves had passed. When did it pass? Everyone was shocked when they heard Zhongmo's words. Zhongmo had clearly only used 1 move. How did it become 3 moves? No one knew the reason behind it. Father, what's wrong? We'll talk about it when we get back. Seeing his father's grave expression, Zhong Zhihang didn't dare to ask any more questions. Both father and son were extremely tragic. They had suffered from Longao's soul attack one after another. Zhong Zhihang, in particular, had nearly died from the soul attack. Longao had successfully passed the first test. Even the disciples of the Ghost King sect were looking forward to it, some were even pleasantly surprised. This was the reality. Longao's strength and persistence, as well as his infatuation, had deeply moved everyone. Taking a deep look at Longao, Ghost King Ao Tien said, "Follow me." With that, the Ghost King led everyone to the back of the Ghost King Peak. There was a small valley there. No one knew how long the heaven-devouring python had lived in it. However, no one in the Ghost King sect was willing to harm the heaven-devouring python. "Longao, are you all right?" Shaking his head, Longao held Aoshua's little hand. He didn't say anything. He knew very well that if he wanted to take Aoshua away, even if he could kill the heaven-devouring python, he still had to participate in the 6-sect battle in a month's time to compete for the sovereign golden pill. Zhong Mo, who was walking at the back, said with a grave expression, "Zhihang, was your soul attacked just now?" Nodding, Zhong Zhihang seemed to have thought of something. He asked in surprise, "Father, could it be that you too?" "Yes, this kid is not simple. He actually knows how to attack the soul." Of course, Zhong Zhihang knew what soul attack meant. However, at this time, Xia Jun came over with a sneer and said, "The two of you are really something. The Golden Sun sect is at the end of the road." Looking at Xia Jun's regretful face, both Zhong Zhihang and Zhong Mo were furious. However, they had lost face and had nothing to say. Ghost King Peak, outside the small valley. "Brother Ao, if Longao passes the 3 stages, what will happen to Aoshua and Zhihang's engagement?" Although Zhong Mo didn't finish his words, the meaning was clear. Today was his son's wedding, but what happened in the end? "Brother Zhong, don't worry. Although the heaven-devouring python is only at the earthly emperor realm, it is very powerful. Especially in the valley, even you and I may not be able to kill it, let alone Longao." After thinking for a while, the Ghost King continued, "Even if Longao can really kill the heaven-devouring python, can Longao survive the 6-sect battle in a month's time?" "I understand. In the 6-sect battle, the 6 sects would each send 10 disciples. When the time came, the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect would join forces and kill Longao in a matter of minutes. Therefore, Zhong Mo chose to accept." Zhong Zhihang was very depressed. Today was supposed to be his big day, but it helped Longao. Not only was he famous in Tianju, but he was also ranked 3rd on the Fengyun list. Looking coldly at Longao in front of him, Zhong Zhihang wished that he could immediately attack and kill him. However, in the end, he endured it. "Longao, I'm giving you one last chance. Leave the Ghost King sect and we'll let bygones be bygones. Otherwise, you won't have a chance to enter the heaven-devouring valley. Aoshua will always be my woman, Longao." After saying that, Longao's face was resolute. He finally took a step forward and walked toward the heaven-devouring valley. In a short while, he had disappeared without a trace and disappeared into the black fog. Aoshua stood quietly. She didn't stop him, didn't feel sad, didn't feel excited, and didn't even worry. Because Aoshua had already made a decision. If Longao died, she would die. If something happened to Longao, she would also leave with Longao. In this case, what was the use of doing anything else? Behind the 6 sects, Zhao Mang, the emperor of the Thunder Empire, had witnessed everything that had just happened. His original thoughts had completely changed. Zhao Mang had made up his mind that no matter what happened in the future, he would not go against this man. A man who almost killed Zhong Zhihang and took a blow from Zhong Mo. It was obvious what kind of person he would become in the future. Would a fearless killer be afraid of the Thunder Empire? The answer was obviously no. It was because of this that Zhao Mang was afraid, very afraid. He had no choice but to compromise and secretly let out a sigh of relief. Fortunately, he had withdrawn from the grudge between Longao and the Nebula royal family. Chapter 192. Sky-Devouring Valley, the forbidden area of the Ghost King sect. In fact, with the strength of the Ghost King sect, it was almost an easy task to kill the Sky-Devouring Python. Sky-Devouring Valley was shrouded in black fog. It was so dark that one could not even see his own fingers. Stepping into Sky-Devouring Valley, the increase in strength of the 9 Needles investiture god disappeared without a trace and began to backfire. He was shocked and did not dare to hesitate. His soul immediately entered the dragon seal space. He went straight to the point. Long Fu, I want to continue using the 9 needles investiture god. Can I reach my previous strength? Through Xia Jun, Longao already knew that the sky-devouring python was at the earthly emperor realm. If he did not continue using the 9 needles investiture god, it would be a big problem for him to leave Sky-Devouring Valley with his current strength, let alone kill the Sky-Devouring Python. Master, using the 9 needles investiture god twice in a row, the backfire is not something you can withstand. So I advise you not to do it. Long Fu, this must be done. Help me do it, right now. Longao was not asking at all because he had decided to kill the Sky-Devouring Python no matter what happened and pass the second stage smoothly. Long Fu had no choice but to compromise. Longao asked Long Qiong for another drop of divine dragon blood and took out the last 2 drops of Kylin blood. He immediately began the second 9 needles investiture god. At this moment, Longao did not care about the consequences. He resolutely chose to use the second 9 needles investiture god. His strength rose to the peak of the human king realm again. At this moment, Longao's eyes suddenly widened. Not far in front of him, there was a pair of cold eyes staring at him. Longao shuddered. Of course, he knew what monster was staring at him coldly. The Sky-Devouring Python was one of the branches of the Dragon Clan. It was powerful. Although it was at the earthly emperor realm, it was comparable to a Dao ancestor warrior. The Sky-Devouring Python's body was more than 10 meters long. Its body was pure black and its head was like a hill. The Sky-Devouring Python was called Sky-Devouring because its mouth was very big. Once it opened, it seemed to be able to swallow the world. Too powerful. Longao had always thought that he would have a chance of killing the Heaven-Devouring Python if he continued using the divine sealing 9 needles and raised his strength to that of a peak sovereign personage. However, when he saw the Heaven-Devouring Python for real, Longao was shocked to discover that his strength was far from enough. The difference in strength between the two was too great. Huff, huff, huff. The Sky-Devouring Python suddenly moved, as if it wanted to end the battle quickly. It opened its mouth, which was more than 3 meters long. Not to mention swallowing a person, it was more than enough to swallow an elephant with more than enough power. Not daring to be the slightest bit careless, Longao continued to move, the wild draw blade in his hand also fiercely slashed out. Saber after saber, shocking saber light fell on the body of the Heaven-Devouring Python. However, the defense of the Heaven-Devouring Python was too strong. Just the blood-sucking saber was unable to break through its defense. Putting away the wild draw blade, Longao did not waste his strength. He took out the God-locking pearl and activated it. A strange power was emitted from the God-locking pearl, covering the body of the Heaven-Devouring Python instantly. He had thought that the God-locking pearl could lock onto the Heaven-Devouring Python, but what was the result? The God-locking pearl could not lock onto the Heaven-Devouring Python at all. This was something that Longao had not expected. The blood-sucking wild blade and the God-sealing pearl were useless. As for the soul attack and the annihilation seal, Longao did not use them either because he had already expected that the soul attack and the annihilation seal would not work either. What should he do? No matter how Longao thought about it, he could not think of a way to deal with the Heaven-Devouring Python. Was he going to die in the Heaven-Devouring Valley just like that? Unwilling to give up, Longao did not choose to give up. He continued to move around, not wanting to clash with the Heaven-Devouring Python head-on. However, with the massive body of the Heaven-Devouring Python, it did not need to be fast at all to catch up to Longao easily. Longao knew clearly in his heart that if this were to continue, he would definitely die. A dragon's roar could be heard. Just as Longao was moving around and did not know what to do, a dragon's roar suddenly resounded in the Heaven-Devouring Valley. Perhaps it was because of the soundproofing, the dragon's roar could not be heard from the outside. Long Qiong's massive body appeared in mid-air. His body emitted a terrifying dragon's breath that suppressed the heavens and the earth. Long Qiong was only in the transformation realm. However, the Heaven-Devouring Python was in the earthly emperor realm. Under normal circumstances, Long Qiong would not be a match for the Heaven-Devouring Python. This was without a doubt. However, the problem now was that the heaven-devouring python was only one of the branches of the dragon clan. On the other hand, Long Qiong was a real giant dragon. Moreover, he was a mutated giant dragon. The heaven-devouring python had already lost in terms of momentum, not to mention strength. Hearing the dragon's roar and feeling the dragon's breath, the heaven-devouring python was shocked to the extreme. This was because he could not understand why a giant dragon would appear in this place. He did not dare to continue being arrogant and obediently crawled down. Seeing the heaven-devouring python admit defeat, Longao was delighted. He immediately communicated with Long Qiong. Outside the heaven-devouring valley, Longao had been in the heaven-devouring valley for a full hour. The people outside were waiting anxiously. According to their agreement, Longao only had 6 hours. In other words, after 6 hours, someone from the Ghost King sect would enter the heaven-devouring valley to see if Longao had succeeded or failed. Brother Ao, what do you think? Ao Tian certainly knew what Zhongmo meant. He nodded and said, the heaven-devouring python's strength is obvious. You and I both know that it is impossible for Longao to kill the heaven-devouring python with his strength. Therefore, Ao Tian did not finish his words, but the meaning in his words was clear. He was delighted. If Longao died in the heaven-devouring valley, then his son and Aoshue could continue their marriage. Longao must die. The master of the Blood Sea sect, Guan Feng, was also looking forward to seeing Longao come out alive. Du Yunxian asked in a low voice, Master, can Longao come out alive? There is a 50-50 chance. If an ordinary warrior entered the heaven-devouring valley, he would definitely die. However, Longao had brought them too many surprises. Because of this, everyone was looking forward to seeing Longao come out alive and create another miracle. Everyone looked at the heaven-devouring valley in front of them. Some were looking forward to seeing Longao come out, while others were looking forward to seeing Longao not come out. However, regardless of whether they were looking forward to it or not, Longao had become the focus of everyone. He's out. In just an hour, he's out? Someone shouted. Everyone looked at the heaven-devouring valley. At this moment, a white-haired youth in black slowly walked out of the heaven-devouring valley. Step by step, he walked slowly and heavily. Chapter 193. He had a head of white hair and was dressed in black. Longao pulled the sky-devouring python's tail with his right hand and walked out of the sky-devouring valley step by step. What's going on? Everyone was dumbfounded because the matter was already in front of them. Although Longao did not kill the heaven-swallowing python, subduing it was far better than killing it. It was precisely because of this that everyone could not figure out how Longao did it. Longao, you've passed the second test. Although Ao Tian was unwilling to admit it, he still nodded in the end. He didn't know why, but he felt that Longao had many secrets. Could it be that he had made the wrong choice this time? Seeing that Longao had successfully subdued the heaven-devouring giant python, Zhong Zhihang and Zhongmo's faces were extremely gloomy. Zhong Zhihang kept asking himself, if I enter the sky-devouring valley, will I be able to subdue the sky-devouring python? The answer was no doubt, definitely not. Now that we've passed the first 2 tests, when will the third test begin? 1 month later, at the Crying Ghost Ridge. At that time, the sovereign golden core will be placed in the deepest part of the Crying Ghost Ridge. As long as you can take back the sovereign golden core, you can take Aoshue away. Without giving Longao any chance to speak, Ao Tian continued, in this 1 month, Aoshue has to stay in the Ghost King sect. 1 month later, I will definitely take back the sovereign golden core from the Crying Ghost Ridge. Without saying anything more, Longao turned and left. He looked so lonely and arrogant. From the beginning to the end, Longao didn't say a word to Aoshue. In his opinion, actions always spoke louder than words. If he wanted to take Aoshue away, he had to win the 6-sect battle in a month's time. Xie Jun was a little worried and chased after him. At this moment, everyone began to talk about it. Today's matter was really unexpected. Aoshue and Zhong Zhihang were supposed to be married, but Longao came out of nowhere. At first, Longao was despised by everyone. But what happened in the end? Longao's strength and persistence, as well as his true feelings, deeply moved everyone. Moreover, Longao defeated Zhong Zhihang. Not only did he become famous in Tianju, but he was also ranked third on the wind cloud list. With this achievement, Longao was no longer the same as before. Father, what you want to do has nothing to do with the sect. Remember, don't let me down. Of Longao's rise. That was. The scenery of the Ghost King Peak was very unique, especially at dusk. It was as if the entire peak was hidden in the clouds. Beside the lotus pond, Aoshue didn't speak. She sat quietly by the lotus pond, thinking about something. Seeing his daughter like this, Ao Tian sighed deeply and said, Aoshue, I believe you know very well what the Supreme Golden Elixir means. If I can get this Supreme Golden Elixir, I will definitely break through the Venerable Realm and reach the Supreme Realm. Aoshue still didn't speak. As the master of the Ghost King sect, I first have to consider the interests of the sect. Longao is very talented and will definitely soar in the future. But the strength of the Gold Sun sect is there. The sect can't fall out with the Gold Sun sect. Do you understand my difficulties? Aoshue trembled slightly and suddenly said, as the master of the Ghost King sect, I don't blame you for having to consider the interests of the sect. But have you ever thought about my feelings and situation? I really want to ask, are you my biological father? Of course. Not necessarily. Forget it, I don't want to say anything else. A month later, in the Battle of the Six Sects, if Longao can get the Supreme Golden Elixir, I will leave the Ghost King sect. From then on, I will make a clean break. If he can't get the Supreme Golden Elixir, I will follow him. Aoshue, listen to me. Even if Longao can get the Supreme Golden Elixir, he may not have a chance to grow. Why? Suddenly standing up, Aoshue suddenly burst out a cold aura and stared at her father in front of her. Sighing deeply in his heart again, the Ghost King said, Longao angered the Gold Sun sect this time. Do you think the Gold Sun sect will let Longao go? Also, there is a grudge between the Blood Sea sect and Longao. No matter what his talent and potential are, without a chance to grow, everything will be in vain. I'm going to find him. No. Why? Aoshue almost shouted. Since young, she had never been like this. Because in her heart, her father in front of her was so great, but now? Aoshue, in this month, if you dare to take a step out of the sect, the agreement between me and Longao will be cancelled. Even if he can get the Supreme Golden Elixir, I will not agree to let him take you away. No words, no anger, not even the slightest fluctuation. Aoshue sat down again and quietly looked at the lotus pond in front of her. The Ghost King didn't seem to want to continue the conversation and turned to leave. If the Lord lives, the concubine lives. If the Lord dies, the concubine dies. Longao, I will wait for you. On the way, Du Yunxian said seriously, Master, this boy's potential is too great. If we let him grow, we will have a lot of trouble in the future. Waving his hand, Guanfeng's face was also not very good. Because the grudge between him and Longao seemed to be nothing, but in fact, they were like fire and water. He could even say that once Longao grew up in the future, he would definitely deal with the Blood Sea sect. Longao, Guanfeng said in his heart, and suddenly said, you two go. Remember, don't talk about taking action first. Make sure the Gold Sun sect doesn't take action, then you two take action, understand? Understood. Whether it was Du Hashuan or Du Yunxian, they both knew that the master was beginning to fear Longao. But after thinking about it, they felt relieved. After all, the potential and talent Longao had shown today were beyond their understanding. So no matter what happened, they couldn't give him any chance to grow. Not only the Gold Sun sect and the Blood Sea sect, but even the Flame sect also sent experts to kill Longao. Although Longao and the Flame sect had no grudge, in the eyes of the Flame sect, Longao was really an anomaly. If Longao really reconciled with the Ghost King sect, wouldn't it be giving the Ghost King sect a super expert for free? Flame sect, Blood Sea sect, Golden Sun sect, The three major sects had sent experts to hunt down Longao at the same time. If this news were to spread out, the three major sects would lose all their face. However, the three major sects weren't fools. Of course, they wouldn't be stupid enough to kill Longao openly. Therefore, the shamelessness of the three major sects would never spread out. Chapter 194. Longao. The news of Longao causing havoc in the Ghost King sect, defeating Zhong Zhihang, and resisting Zhong Mo's attack instantly spread throughout the entire Tianzhu. Longao's name completely shook the entire Tianzhu. It could be said that there was no one in Tianzhu who didn't know Longao, especially the losers, who even regarded Longao as their idol. Third on the 100 battle ranking, third on the Fengyun list, and third on both lists. More importantly, Longao caused havoc in the Ghost King sect and left safely in the end. Longao's deeds were said to be miraculous, as if Longao was a god of war who could do anything. Anyone who heard the news deeply admired Longao's infatuation. Fighting for the world for a woman. Flame City, in a luxurious restaurant. Brother Linghu, have you heard? Brother Long caused havoc in the Ghost King sect and defeated Zhong Zhihang. Nodding, Linghu Ning seemed to be a little excited and said, "It's really hard to imagine how Brother Long did it. Zhong Zhihang is a super figure who is third on the Fengyun list, and his strength has reached the peak of Earth Sovereign. The difference between the Metamorphosis realm and the peak of Earth Sovereign was too big. Could other things make up for it?" Until now, Linghu Ning and Ice Spirit still couldn't figure out how Longao did it. Anyway, Brother Long's name has completely shaken the entire Tianzhu. Not long ago, Brother Long was only third on the 100 battle ranking. Now, in just 1 month, he's already third on the Fengyun list. Longao's strong rise and his name shook the entire Tianzhu. Whether it was Ice Spirit or Linghu Ning, they were a little surprised and sincerely happy for Longao. Star Cloud City. After the Wang family of Scarlet Fire Town entered the royal family, all the major families chose to be unconvinced, especially when other kingdoms were eyeing them covetously. It could be said that the Wang family was in a very dangerous situation. Not to mention the major families, if other kingdoms attacked the Star Cloud Kingdom, the Wang family's fate could be imagined. Even if the Wang family had Longao as their backing, Longao's strength was still limited. He wasn't strong enough to be feared by all the kingdoms. Moreover, the Wang family and Longao didn't have any backing. How could such a fat piece of meat not be targeted? At that moment, news of Longao causing trouble at the Ghost King sect and defeating Zhong Zhihang spread out. No matter if it was the large families or the various kingdoms, they immediately quieted down. Longao didn't even care about the Ghost King sect and the Golden Sun sect, let alone them. No one was willing to provoke such a murderous god. Furthermore, the Thunder Imperial family had suddenly announced that they would fully support the Wang family of the Nebula Imperial family and the Scarlet Fire Town. The actions of the Thunder Royal family caused everyone to speculate. Could it be that Longao and the Thunder Royal family had reached an agreement? But one had to know that the Thunder Royal family had the Thunder sect behind them. If Longao and the Thunder Royal family were so close, didn't that mean that Longao and the Thunder sect were also very good? With Longao's incident, the Wang family's position in the Nebula Imperial family was completely consolidated. No one was willing to provoke Longao. Scarlet Fire Town, Long family. The current Scarlet Fire Town was no longer the same as before. Its prosperity had far surpassed that of Thundercloud City. The Long family's status had also risen because of Longao. Not to mention other families, even the Thunder Royal family had started to curry favor with the Long family. One could imagine how great the impact of Longao causing trouble at the Ghost King sect was. Ever since the Mu family's strong rise in Scarlet Fire Town, their attitude had taken a 180-degree turn. In the past, they had never stepped into Scarlet Fire Town. But now, people from the Mu family would enter Scarlet Fire Town every few days. Regarding this, Long Haosha didn't say much. No matter what, the Mu family was still a relative of the Long family. Even if they had done something wrong in the past, it was all in the past. Long family, lobby. Father, although Aoa has left the Ghost King sect successfully, if nothing unexpected happens, the Golden Sun sect will definitely not let it go. I'm afraid that Aoa will be in danger. Longao nodded. His face was also full of worry and solemnity. No matter what, the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect were super existences above the secular world. There were many experts in the sect. They could casually send out some experts to deal with his grandson. What's more, the power of one person was always limited. If the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect insisted on dealing with Longao, the consequences could be imagined. What should they do? Longao and the others knew that they couldn't intervene in the matters between the sects. Unless the third-level Long family took action, but would the third-level Long family care about this kind of thing? Is there any way to contact Aoa now? No, Father. I don't know what happened to Aoa. I can't contact him. It's because of this that I'm even more worried. Couldn't contact Longao? Hearing this, everyone's face turned ugly. The Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect's strength were obvious. The longer they delayed finding Longao, the more trouble they would have. Because of this, everyone knew that no matter what happened, they had to find Longao first. Remember, no matter what happens, you have to find Aoa as soon as possible. Father, I've received news. When Aoa left the Ghost King sect, he made an agreement with the Ghost King and the Golden Sun sect. Aoa will participate in the 6th sect battle a month later, so Aoa will definitely appear in the Crying Ghost Ridge a month later. The Crying Ghost Ridge was a place controlled by the 6 sects. Secular people were not allowed to enter. After the 6 sects battle of the 6 sects, Long Yi told them everything he knew about it. After hearing this, Longao and the others' faces became even more solemn. After all, it was very difficult for Aoa to snatch the sovereign golden pill from the 6 sects. Just as Longao was about to say something, Mu Wanfeng, who had been silent all this time, said, "What we have to do now is wait." Why? Aoa made a scene in the Ghost King sect and the Golden Sun sect, but he didn't tell us about it. Why? It's very simple. Aoa doesn't want anything to happen to us. If we go to the Crying Ghost Ridge or offend the Ghost King sect and the Golden Sun sect, what will Aoa do if something happens to us? Everyone knew what Mu Wanfeng meant. Longao said, "You're right. Aoa didn't tell us because he doesn't want anything to happen to us. So next, besides contacting Aoa as soon as possible, the rest is to build the Chihua town as soon as possible." Longao knew very well that if he wanted to help Aoa, he had to make the family stronger first. He couldn't rely on Aoa for everything. Sometimes, he had to do something himself. Since Mu Wanfeng and Longao had said so, even if Long Yi and the others were worried, they didn't dare to say anything. Chapter 195. Tianju, somewhere in the Flame Empire. Longao had caused havoc in the Ghost King sect and used the 9 needles sealing God twice in a row, causing his injuries to be very serious, especially the backlash. If it weren't for Long Fu's help, the backlash from using the 9 needles sealing God twice would have been enough to immediately take Longao's life. But even so, Longao's body was on the verge of collapse. "Brother Long, what's wrong with you?" Xie Jun was shocked when he saw the pale Longao on the verge of collapse. Waving his hand, Longao said, "I'm fine, don't worry." Longao was very grateful to Xie Jun because he knew very well why Xie Jun wanted to follow him. After all, he had caused havoc in the Ghost King sect. Not to mention his injuries, the Golden Sun sect would definitely not let him go. "Brother Xie, thank you very much this time. Don't be so polite with me, Longao. I've never admired anyone in my life, but I admire you very much." "Brother Xie, I need to find a place to recuperate." Xie Jun nodded. Of course, Xie Jun also saw that something was wrong with Longao. The two immediately found a secluded place. Longao entered the cave while Xie Jun stayed outside to guard. In the cave, in the dragon seal space. "Master, you've used the 9 needles sealing God twice in a row. The backlash has reached a critical point. I'll temporarily help you suppress it, but it's not a problem." Master, you must repair it as soon as possible. Otherwise, the consequences will be unimaginable. How could Longao not know what Long Fu said? Long Fu, what should I do now? Longao knew that since Long Fu asked him to use the 9 needles sealing God at the same time, there must be a way to deal with the backlash. After thinking about it, Long Fu said with a solemn expression, Master, if you want to suppress the backlash and integrate it, there's only one way, which is to use the backlash to transform, but it's very painful. Breaking through the second metamorphosis with the help of the backlash? Hearing Long Fu's idea, Longao was also shocked. However, things had already reached this point. Even if it didn't work, it had to work. In the following time, Longao followed Long Fu's instructions and began to use the backlash to break through the second metamorphosis. Long Fu's meaning was very simple. As long as Longao could endure it, then not only would he not suffer a backlash, but his strength would also rapidly increase. However, this kind of pain was not something a normal person could endure. For 3 whole days, Longao endured this kind of pain. Humans were like this. If they couldn't withstand pain, how could there be a rainbow? Longao endured the pain and backlash, and borrowed the strength in his body to undergo a second transformation. There were 3 transformations, and each transformation represented a qualitative change. Brother Long, are you okay? 3 days later, seeing Longao walk out of the cave, Xie Jun anxiously asked. Although he didn't know what kind of secret technique Longao used to increase his strength by 2 whole levels, he wouldn't believe that there wasn't any backlash. I'm fine, Brother Xie. Thank you for these 3 days. Xie Jun seemed a little unhappy and said, Brother Long, you and I are friends. There's no need to say thanks. If you say thanks again in the future, it means that you don't treat me as a friend. Longao smiled and said, Brother Xie, I want to ask about the 6 sects battle royal in a month. What's going on? 6 sects battle royal. There was only one thing that Longao was concerned about, and that was the 6 sects battle royal in a month's time. No matter what, he had already successfully passed 2 out of the 3 stages. Only the last stage was left before he could take away Aoshue. The 3 stages were filled with danger, but Longao knew that the 3rd stage was the most dangerous and also the most difficult. After all, he had to snatch the sovereign golden core from the hands of the 6 major sects. Just thinking about it, one could imagine how difficult it would be. Brother Long, the 6 sects battle royal was just proposed. The goal is to obtain the sovereign golden core. After thinking for a while, Xie Jun continued, 8 void realms. You should know what it means to be a sovereign. After a sovereign cultivator dies, all of his strength will be gathered in the golden core. If a sovereign cultivator obtains it, the chances of breaking through to the sovereign realm will be very high. Brother Xie, I heard that the sovereign golden core was originally in Zhongmo's hands. Why did he take it out? With regards to this, Longao was very curious. Since the sovereign golden core was so precious and helpful to sovereigns, why did Zhongmo take it out? Why didn't he consume it himself to break through to the sovereign realm? As if he could guess what Longao was thinking, Xie Jun said, Zhongmo obviously wants to take the sovereign golden core for himself, but he doesn't have the guts. Why is that? The sovereign golden core was obtained by the 6 major sects. It's just that Zhongmo is temporarily in charge of it. During this wedding, the master of the Blood Sea sect, Guan Feng, won't be able to do it. In the end, the 6 sects battle royal was decided to compete for the sovereign golden core. So that's how it is. The 6 sects battle royal has a very simple rule. Every sect will send 10 disciples to the Crying Ghost Ridge to compete for the sovereign golden core. If you are included, there will be a total of 60 people competing for the sovereign golden core. After thinking for a while, Xie Jun continued, Brother Long, in this 6 sects battle royal, my Thunder sect will do our best to help you compete for the sovereign golden core. Longao did not reject. After all, the participants of the 6 sects battle royal were all geniuses. With his strength alone, it would be difficult for him to obtain the sovereign golden core. Sovereign golden core. Longao's face was filled with determination. No matter what happened, he must obtain the sovereign golden core in the 6 sects battle royal. Brother Long, there are still 27 days until the 6 sects battle royal. What are you planning to do next? Cultivate. Do you need my help? No need. 27 days later, we will meet at the Crying Ghost Ridge. Brother Long, forgive me for being blunt. This time, you have caused a huge ruckus in the Ghost King sect. If there are no accidents, the Ghost King sect will not let this matter rest. So, if you are willing, you can follow me to the Thunder sect and participate in the 6 sects battle royal. What do you think? How could Longao not know about Xia Jun's good intentions? But, was he really going to take refuge in the Thunder sect? Longao knew very well that he could hide from this matter for a while, but he could not hide from it forever. He had to face it in the end. It was precisely because of this that Longao did not even think about it and said, I will settle this matter myself. Brother Xia, you should go back and prepare well. I will definitely repay this favor in the future. Seeing that Longao had rejected him, Xia Jun did not continue to say anything. He nodded his head and told Longao to be careful. Then, he turned and left. In a short while, he had disappeared without a trace. The 6 sect battle royal. Longao did not continue to dwell on the matter of the 6 sect battle royal, because he knew that his current strength was far from enough to successfully obtain the sovereign golden pill from the 6 sect battle royal. He could not rely on the 9 needles apotheosis this time. Chapter 196. In the remaining time, Longao planned to cultivate properly and improve as much as he could. This time, he had used the 9 needles to seal God twice. Not only did he not suffer any backlash, he even used the backlash to break through a second metamorphosis. It could be considered a blessing in disguise. Now that he had entered the Flame Empire, Longao did not plan to leave. He first entered the Flame City and found Linghu Ning and Ice Soul. He went straight to the point, Brother Linghu, Ice Soul, I'm preparing to enter the Flame Forest to train. I would like to invite you to come with me. What do you think? No problem. Linghu Ning and Ice Soul agreed without even thinking about it. Ice Soul could not hold back and asked, Brother Long, how did you do it? Longao really treated the two of them as friends. So, he did not hide much and told them everything. After listening, whether it was Linghu Ning or Ice Soul, they both sighed endlessly. A narrow escape. Brother Long, you've offended the Golden Sun sect and the Ghost King sect. Will they let it go? Longao knew about Linghu Ning and Ice Soul's worries. He smiled and said, it's fine. The Ghost King sect probably won't, but it's hard to say for the Golden Sun sect. No matter what, I won't back down. Brother Long is right. If worse comes to worst, we'll just deal with whatever comes our way. Since things had reached this point, Ice Soul did not say anything more. She asked, Brother Long, when are we leaving? Immediately. In truth, Longao was still a little confused. Based on his current popularity, Dongfang Suo should have immediately come looking for him as soon as he entered the Flame City. But now, without even guessing, Longao already knew what had happened. The Flame Imperial family relied on the support of the Flame sect. If nothing unexpected happened, the Flame sect would definitely be unhappy with him and want to get rid of him. If that was the case, how would the Flame Imperial family and Dongfang Suo dare to approach him? As if she could guess what Longao was thinking, Ice Soul thought for a moment before saying, Brother Long, I've received news that the Flame sect seems to be very unhappy with you, so Dongfang Suo will not come looking for you again. Longao smiled. He actually didn't have much of a good impression of Dongfang Suo, but he had given him a lot of medicinal ingredients and could barely be considered a friend. Longao's team of 3 did not continue to dwell on the matter regarding the Flame Imperial family. Turning around, they left Flame City. The Fire Forest was the largest spiritual beast forest in the Fire Empire. Even in the entire Tianju, it was a famous place. Entering the Flame Forest this time, Longao's intention was very simple. He wanted to break through his cultivation base in the shortest amount of time. As for why he called Ice Spirit and Linghu Ning, the reason was very simple. The souls of the spiritual beasts that were killed would be continuously sent into the Dragon Seal space. As for the beast cores and corpses, they were kept by the two of them and sent back to the Scarlet Fire Town's Long family. Just like this, Longao's group of 3 continued to wander through the flame forest. Unknowingly, 12 days had passed. Including the previous 3 days, it was exactly half a month. In other words, there was only half a month left before the 6 sects competition began. Day 16, dusk. The 3 of them had just killed 2 powerful spiritual beasts and were resting when 2 people walked towards them. Seeing the 2 people, Longao's expression changed. He stood up and vigilantly looked at the 2 people. The 2 people that Longao saw were none other than the 2 elders of the Bloodsea sect, Du Hashuan and Du Yunxian. Looking at the vigilant Longao, Du Yunxian coldly laughed. Du Hashuan said, "Longao, we're really fated to meet here. Shameless." Just as Du Hashuan finished speaking, Longao's group of 3 fiercely despised him in their hearts. They had seen shameless people before, but they had never seen someone as shameless as him. He was simply shameless to the extreme. Fated. They were clearly here to cause trouble, but now they were saying that they were fated. Ling Hu Ning coldly snorted. His face was filled with disdain and contempt. If he wasn't afraid of the other party's strength, he might have already attacked. Ling Hu Ning, you might be ranked high in the secular world, but in our eyes, you're not even worth a fart. You'd better shut up. Otherwise, I'll directly kill you. Ling Hu Ning seemed to want to say something, but he was stopped by Longao. Shaking his head, Longao sneered and said, Du Hashuan, Du Yunxian, we're straightforward people. Please tell us the purpose of your visit, unless you admit that you're not a cultivator. Du Yunxuan's face was slightly cold as he said with disdain, straightforward people, I like it. Since that's the case, we won't beat around the bush. Longao, I'll give you 2 options. Choose one. Du Hashuan continued, 2 options. The first option is to help the Blood River sect in the Battle of the 6 Sects half a month later to obtain the Sovereign Golden Pill. The second option is to die now. The 2 of you, I'd like to ask you a question. Are your parents good people? Although they didn't know the meaning of Longao's question, they still nodded and asked, so what if they are? So what if they aren't? Nothing, I'm just curious. What kind of good people can raise such a thing? Phut, hearing Longao's words, Ice Spirit couldn't help but laugh. Du Yunxian and Du Hashuan's faces were extremely gloomy. Just as the 2 of them were about to say something, Longao threw a backhand punch. Caught off guard, the 2 of them almost got hit because they never thought that Longao would dare to make a sudden move. In fact, the 2 of them were still afraid of Longao. No matter what, Longao defeated Zhong Zhihang and took a hit from Zhong Mo. If it were them, would they be able to take a hit from Zhong Mo? The answer was obviously no. Just as the 2 of them were about to attack in anger, they suddenly felt a sharp pain in their heads. At this moment, Longao didn't continue to attack. He quickly left with Ice Spirit and Ling Hu Ning, disappearing without a trace. The soul attack was split into 2. Perhaps the difference in strength was too great, but the 2 of them recovered their souls in a short time. Even so, the 2 of them were still shocked, not knowing how the other party did it. Big brother, this kid knows soul attacks. Ian, no matter what, we can't let him live. We must kill him today. You have to be careful later. Soul attacks are very strange and powerful. If we're not careful and get hit, we'll be in trouble. Luckily, this kid's strength is not our match, or we'll be in big trouble. Du Yunxian nodded. Thinking about what happened just now, he still felt a lingering fear. Fortunately, Longao's strength was not very strong, otherwise, his soul attack would have been enough to take both of their lives. If their souls were injured, the consequences would be unimaginable. You're tuning in to the Celestial War YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.